Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku discovered a power beyond Quirks Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see Part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 from Wattpad. So let's start the video. Izuku Midoriya, a boy with nothing, no quirk, no friends, no family, no house, nothing but just a dream. At a very young age his mother was trying to kill him. It was the day after Izuku was told he was quirkless at home. His mother didn't talk after his playgroup. The next day his mother tried to kill him in the car. Luckily he made it out, but his mother ran after him fearing he would tell the police. His clothes were broken and tattered. He was running out of energy, but he kept running. He run and run, but he came to a cliff and he has nowhere to go. He looked below him, but it was too high to jump. His mother was smiling in front of him. He saw some foggy visions of someone in a green hoodie wearing a circular mask with no holes with a smile on it and a voice, "Kid, let me, I'll get us out of here." Izuku was scared with no energy to do anything else, but if this voice will let him survive, then so be it, do it. Izuku said, light-headed from exhaustion. Izuku's body seemed to be moving on its own, and he jumped off the cliff. When his mother looked down, he was gone. She laughed at her son jumping. But what she didn't know was Izuku jumped in on a cave on the side of the cliff. Red heart, Izuku's mind, red heart. When I said yes, I was like dreaming, but I was able to see what my body did. Now I'm in kind of an endless place. The same guy from the vision was here too, and there's lots of stuff laying on the ground. Discs, music box, sword, some weird glasses, a weird sword, books, and lots more. The guy walked over to Izuku. "Are you okay?" The guy said, "Yeah, thanks, but where are we and who are you?" Izuku said, "Well, I guess I'm Dream, that's all I know, plus some tricks." Dream said, "So why was she trying to kill you?" "Luckily I appeared." Dream asked, "Well, you see, I don't have a quirk, so people think I'm useless." Izuku said, legs crossed, sitting, tears filling up his eyes. "What is this quirk?" "You see, they have this superhuman ability. Everyone has it but me." Izuku said, "Oh, we should probably make some shelter we can stay in. Do you want to do it, or should I? We'll have to survive, you know. I can teach you what I remember at least." Dream said, offering his hand to Izuku. "Yeah, we'll probably need to hide from the animal, but may I ask what those items are?" Izuku said, pointing towards the items. "I don't know, but I think it's best we leave it for now." Dream said, red heart. Outside in the real world, red heart. Izuku stood up and he grabbed a rock nearby and started banging it on a tree. He picked the tall yet thin ones for efficiency. "You should make one," Dream said out of nowhere. "What? A mask like mine? She probably thinks you're dead, but to be safe you should make one." Izuku nodded and took one small chunk of wood and started smoothing it into a circular plate shape and got some burned wood and smudged a smiley face like Dream's on it. He always wore it sideways, hanging from his head like this, but Izuku, and also this is what Dream looks like. Izuku, when inside his house, wears it like this, but when he goes out to hunt or cut trees he covers his face fully. It has no holes where he could see, but because of Dream his senses was strong enough to be able to see everything by vibrations in the air. He also uses his enhanced smell and hearing to hunt food. It has been a month of doing the same thing when Izuku realized he's been stronger than before even without Dream's help. "Hey, do you think we should probably get you new clothes to wear?" "Yeah, probably," Izuku said as he got ready to go to the way he marked was the way to the nearest city he could go to if something happens. He went into the city. It was pretty weird seeing a 4-year-old boy walk by himself in a crowded city. Izuku got on the sidelines and snatched a bunch of hoodies of any size he could get and some jeans he could use. He left a really rare flower he found from the forest. For each one he took as payment. He left a note there to bring it to an inspector or archaeologist. He was set to go back to his house, but as he was walking out of the store from the sidelines when some muggers attacked the store, the old man who owned the store, even when doing well, had no guards, leaving the place pretty vulnerable. "Stop what you're doing and place all the money in this bag," one of the robbers said as he aimed the gun at the owner's head. "Fast," as the other robbers were guarding the place with their guns and quirks ready to let loose if someone disobeys them. "Izuku, let's get out of here." "Wait, no, stop," Dream said as Izuku began charging at the villain wearing his mask and a hoodie. As they were running he began to glow. He went to the nearest villain and kicked him straight into another one. As for the others, all they were able to see was a green glowing thing going around. The villains were getting scared and started firing their guns around the place, but before it can hit it was always stopped, and most of them were down. A guy aimed at a girl. "Whatever you are, a girl's gonna die for you." As the villain fired his gun at the girl closed her eyes. She feared her life ended. Izuku was trying his best to reach the girl, but he was too slow. Come on, just a little bit more, Izuku muttered sadly to himself when his body shifted bigger and taller. He wasn't Izuku, he was Dream now. They teleported in front of the girl. It's fine now, little girl, I'll finish this, Izuku said as his body fell to the ground. The people looked at the man's body, but suddenly it was gone, and when they looked at the villains, all they were able to see was the same guy, but now it wasn't a dash they see, but it was teleporting, taking down each villain. Once the villains were tied up, the owner decided to talk. Who are you? Are you a hero? He asked, scared as the man he was talking to was able to take on a bunch of villains and got shot. Oh, I was just gonna buy something, but I have no money, but here you go, Izuku said as he gave all the rare flower he has at the man except for one. Sir, may I buy these clothes in exchange for this? You can give it to a museum or a botany garden if you like, I'm sure they'd pay you lots. Izuku said. The man was surprised. He recognized the flower. It became extinct when he was young. Izuku walked over to the young girl that almost got shot. Here, I'm sorry for frightening you. He got out of my sight, he said as he gave the last flower to her. The girl hesitantly took the flower from Izuku's grasp. Izuku took the clothes he needed and run away. What he didn't know was a citizen took a photo of him. As soon as Izuku reached home, his body shifted back to its normal form. Hey Dream, what was that? Izuku asked. It was my body with you and we were. I don't know, Dream said as awestruck as Izuku. Well, what do we do now? Do we forget about that or? Izuku suggested, but trailed of, we should probably train with it. If we ever get in trouble, that teleportation would be a great help. We only have each other after all, but for now let's go sleep, Dream said with a sigh as Izuku lied down on the ground at the city. After Izuku left, one of the hostages recorded the video and posted it online, making it go viral. The shop owner went to a botany garden and got the flowers tested out. He got a lot of money for it, but he kept one for himself as it brings back some childhood memories. The young girl he saved was inside a mansion holding the flower, looking at it intently. Her parents was worried about her, especially as she was their only daughter. She now has to always be skirted when outside the house. She was thinking of her savior. Sadly, there wasn't much to think of. He was too fast for the naked eye, and all of his features were covered up by the big hoodie and the mask. It has been half a year since the video of Izuku beating villains got viral. Right during those time, Izuku trained how far he could teleport and tested his limits. Turns out he could use it as much as he wants with no drawback. As for his strength, it was really powerful, as a punch of his was able to get 5 trees down with just the blast of wind, and it comes to 7 with physical contact. Hey, what do you want to do with us? I mean, we're doing good with resources, but don't you think we could maybe do something else out there? Dream said. Yeah, and what are we going to say? Oh, my mom hunted me down at the woods and I barely got away, plus we don't have money, Izuku said as he washed his face in the river nearby. We could live on one of those abandoned buildings and we can move on and on. Then if every week we would go back here and keep what gets such as money and store it. Dream said. Izuku maybe 5, but he knows what he could and couldn't. But Dream's ideas were good and easy to do. Okay, fine, but I have a condition. We become vigilantes and save people on the way. Then when I grow old enough we become heroes, Izuku said. Like, you have to tell me. They began getting what they would need to keep in the tent and what they would bring with them, and then they set off to find a hideout. They settled in an abandoned apartment building. They saw it was clean, like it was just abandoned. They washed over the place to clean it, and they arranged the place based on what part they will use for what. Pretty good, huh? Izuku asked Dream. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now do you want to get out and make our debut? Yes, Izuku said as he turned to Dream again, and they went out jumping from rooftop to rooftop. He sat on the top of the highest building he could find. Radar. The moment those words left his mouth, he closed his eyes and he was able to see a lot more, as at every step someone does produces the image of the surroundings for Izuku. Then there it was, a sound like help. He followed where it came from, and it seems 5 men armed with knives and guns. Izuku immediately teleported above the guys holding the girl's hands and dropped on them. Say, attacking a girl isn't good and all, but 5 grown men attacking a single girl with knives and guns, some kind of men you are, Izuku said as he stood up and carried the girl to the side. As he took a run for it, since his teleportation is still on cooldown, he went for the nearest guy and drew his wooden sword. As soon as the guy is close enough, he slammed the sword on the guy's foot and quickly hit his face to put him to sleep. He quickly jumped up to dodge a knife and he locked his legs on the man's waist and twisted himself to spin the guys. The man's body got thrown to a wall from the force. The remaining one was cowering in fear and took a run for it, but Izuku's cooldown was done already and he teleported in front of the man mid-air and he used the man's chest as a Jumping board and kicked him back. The man fell. Unconscious from the stress and fright. Izuku went back to see the girl who almost got raped. Hey, are you okay? If you are, tell me your name, Izuku asked. Nemuri Kiyama? The girl said. A closer look. Izuku was able to identify that she was a high school student from UA first year based on appearances and skill. Nemuri-chan, can I call you that? I'll bring you to the police and give them your statement, then that's enough to get them arrested. If not, tell Nizu he probably has enough connection to make it as you're a student in you, Izuku said as he was tying up the men in a bunch. How did you know I study at you? Nemuri asked. First the uniform, second you are a first year, aren't you, as the school year has just started, as your skills are not that good. Now let's go, I'm done recharging, Izuku said as held the end of the rope in one hand and holding Nemuri's hand. Nemuri closed her eyes and she heard a swoop and she heard clattering and a lot of voices. When she opened her eyes she was in front of the police station. Running to her was Junior Detective 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐽𝐴. What happened to you? Who are these guys? The junior asked her. She looked around. She didn't see her savior anywhere. These guys tried to RP me. Then I closed my eyes. Then someone carried me further away and went back to take them down with a wooden sword, and then he took me here. Where is he? Which hero was he? I want to thank him, Nemuri said frantically. Okay, can you tell me his characteristics? After telling the characteristics. There's no hero with that characteristics. His face, did you see? 𝐀𝐮𝐴 asked hopeful. No, he was wearing this mask with a smiley face. Oh my gosh, how did he fight with his eyes closed? Nemuri said. What do you mean exactly? The mask had no holes to see. When he arrived his eyes were already covered and the alley it was hidden by the man's quirk. So how? Nemuri said. Smiley face, is it this guy? 𝐀𝐮𝐴 said as he showed her the video about Izuku fighting the robbers. Yes, that's him. He's not a hero, sadly. He's either a vigilante or a villain, but he's more likely a vigilante. Oh, then that's that. I am fine now. He made sure I was okay before we went here. Nemuri stood up and she smiled and she was scooted back home. Red heart, red heart, red heart. Back with Izuku. Red heart, red heart, red heart. After Izuku sent Nemuri to the police, he activated radar again and there was a girl crying. He ran to her. When she arrived, the little girl was lost and she was being kicked around by grown drunk men. Izuku, seeing this, grabbed one of his ropes and tied all the men up in one big pile and sent them to the police first. Hey little girl, are you okay here? Izuku said as he cleaned the girl's body with a bottle of water and a towel, as well bandaging her wounds and giving her a biscuit he was gonna eat after patrol. After that he came with the girl to the police. Detective, the men, did you get them? They were kicking this girl around. She seems lost. Here she is. I wouldn't be able to stay for long, he shouted. All the police came out and looked at them. He held his hands up and he threw his wooden sword to the ground. Go on, they'll help you come back to your mama and they'll protect you. They are good guys, he said as he lightly pushed the girl, but the girl didn't budge. Here, he held the girl's hand and guided her towards the police. He handed her to the detective and whispered, they were kicking her around, make sure she gets home safe or else. As soon as Detective 𝐀𝐮𝐴 held the girl's hand, Izuku teleported towards his wooden sword and teleported away. Hey, are you okay? Let's go. First tell me your name, Junior Detective 𝐀𝐮𝐴 asked the girl, but instead the girl gave him a piece of paper. She might be too scared to tell you, but her name is 𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶𝐶3. Well, that's all I could get. The rest is up to you guys. The letter read. After leaving, Izuku went back to his hideout and went back to his own form. How's that, Izuku? For a start, yeah, we should show we're not a threat, but that wouldn't stop them from hunting us down, since what we're doing is illegal. But it's not like they'll suspect a 5-year-old boy about being a vigilante. Izuku laughed. Hey, let's go take a look around in your form this time. There's a gig in the nearby cafe. Let's peek through the window. Besides, you said we'd look around, please, Dream said, and Izuku complied, but first he changed into a smaller hoodie and he walked outside. When he found the cafe, he peeked through the window. The band was having a hard time and was discoordinated. Red heart inside Izuku's head. Red heart. Whoa. Whoa, what's that awful music? Said, what's up, Beach? Another guy said when Izuku and Dream looked at them. They were holding the music box and the discs. One of them has blue eyes, brown hair, and was wearing a dark green polo shirt, whilst the other one was wearing a red and white baseball t-shirt, has bright blue eyes and yellow hair, and was holding the disc. Hi, my name is Tubbo and this is Tommy. Oh god, Tommy, the whole disc collection. The brown-haired boy said, oh god, you're right. Now what should we do to fix this? Tommy asked himself. You guys could use my body if you want, Izuku answered. Can we? Of course. As Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 tried to control it, they got kicked outside the body and appeared beside someone who looked like Dream and Izuku combined. He was a teenage boy like Dream, but his hair was a mix of green and dirty blonde. The trio went backstage to meet the band, who turns out was just starters. We'll take over for now, we'll ease up the crowd, it would 𝐬𝗂 if your debut would get ruined, right? 𝗬𝗪 said as he grabbed 3 mics and gave one to Dream/Izuku and Tommy. They went up to stage. 𝐼/D. Hey guys, we're the opening act for now, let's have fun, okay? 𝐼/D. As the wind 𝗬𝗚𝗧 round, I take a breath for victory. Wanna play tag? Or wave your white flag? 'Cause you'll never touch making of hearts. All in, it's not a sin to wanna win, sin to wanna win. Can't see me flying like a bee. Black and yellow energy, only me on my team. Naturally Tommy. I see a dreamer over there by the water, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. Phobia. The people started clapping to the rhythm while Tommy and 𝗬𝗪's hand glowed. They imitated a gun with their hands and pointed it at the band's drummer, and the drums changed to a much modern one and the drummer started drumming. 𝗬𝗪. I hear battalions sing of my demise, but I don't know the words. I take a road of my own, making on a journey, no returning. Whoa, oh, that's how it goes. They've drawn the battle line and I see fire in their eyes. I'm better off not listening. Nah, I've got my own song to sing. I flying like a bee. Black and yellow energy, only me on my team. Naturally 𝐼/D and Tommy. I see a dreamer over there by the water, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐴𝐵𝐵. Phobia, all 3. My boat is full, why don't you swim? Enjoy my fortress. I'll be right in. I stare a hole through danger's soul. We all know I can do this. Eyes closed, I refuse to fail, so heed this cautionary tale. You've got dragons, my little friend, you'll conquer them in the end if you can. Tommy and 𝗬𝗪's hands started glowing again, but much brighter. They did the same, and the whole band's instruments changed as well as their clothes, and they started playing as well. Inside Izuku's mind, the bottle started glowing, and in the outside their clothes changed into a different attire. I see a dreamer over there by the water, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐴𝐵𝐵. I see a dreamer and he's ripe for the slaughter, but I got no 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐴𝐵𝐵. Phobia. As the music ended, they decided to sing once more. As they started to sing, the audience's feeling changed. They felt much more energy, as if a kid high on sugar. Proof of Tommy and 𝗬𝗪's real power. Time skip. When the song ended, they went backstage. It's all yours. Good luck out there. Thank you so much for the help. Will we ever see you again? Probably not. It's a big world out there, but we all live in it, so there's a possibility. 𝗬𝗪 said when they teleported away with Izuku's help, and they all went back together as one again. The next day, Izuku was walking around the city in his normal form when he came to hear sounds of grunting. When he looked to see, it was a boy high school based on height. He was crying while punching a punching bag. Izuku went to the alley and tried to manifest as Dream, but instead he manifested as someone else. He was a boy the same as Dream, but he had pink hair. He was wearing white long-sleeved polo and a red cape and a crown. His face was covered by a pig mask. Hey, why are you crying? 𝗏𝗏𝗪 asked. Who are you? I asked you first, now tell me, I might be able to help you. I failed. I wanted to be a hero, but I wasn't strong enough, and my quirk 𝐒𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗪. You know I don't know about quirks or anything, but there is something I know. No matter how mighty you are, if you don't have the mind to back it up, you would be as good as death, and vice versa. What is this quirk thing? My name is 𝗧𝗱𝗪𝐼𝐻𝗚. Quirks are like superpowers. Almost everyone have. Mine is erasure, the power to erase someone's quirk by looking at them, but the test we took had robots, so I wasn't able to do anything. That's awesome. You know what I decided? I'll teach you tricks and help you get strong. You have a second chance, right? Then we'll train till you become a hero. We'll prove them wrong. Do you accept? But after you become a hero, you should never come see me again. No, but if you understand, say yes. 𝗧𝗱𝗪 looked at 𝗏𝗏 in surprise. Yes. As soon as 𝗏𝗏 heard those words, he smiled. Come here first, we need to strengthen your body. As I said, might and mine. Now let's go to the beach. I was gonna clean. 𝗏𝗏 said. Time skip to the beach. The beach was full of trash of all sizes. Here, we'll clean this place up. You should clean up as much as you can. I'll help you along the way. They started cleaning the place up, and 𝗏𝗏 popping some jokes from time to time. They finished faster than expected with 𝗏𝗏's unearthly strength, but he left a lot for 𝐼𝐻𝗚 to clean up as well. As soon as they finished up teaching 𝐼𝐻𝗚 different fighting styles, and even his own, 𝐼𝐻𝗚 lives alone, so he skipped school for the next day and continued training. After a month, that's enough muscles for you. You should wear baggy clothes to hide the muscle from others as a surprise they'd underestimate you, but that would work on your side. Find a weapon that would help you in various ways. If you want to be secretive, use something like a scarf or a heavy yo-yo since they look harmless. If you ever need help or want to learn more, you could meet a friend of mine, just tell me, 𝗏𝗏 said as he gave 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 a white sweater, black extra long scarf and the heavy-weighted yo-yo. Those are just prototypes a friend made for me, but they should be good enough to be first in you. I'm off now. 𝗏𝗏 was about to tell Dream to teleport them out of there, but when he got teleported he didn't see 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 hold his cape. Izuku immediately manifested Dream before 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 opened his eyes. 𝗏𝗏, you idiot, he held you, he got dragged and he almost see him. 𝗏𝗏 got out of the body. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽, why did you hold on to me? 𝗏𝗏 asked 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽. So Dream is his name? Yes and no, we are more than one and we only change when needed, but yes, this is Dream. He can also train you since I am the strength. He is speed. Teleportation is someone else. Now what do you want to ask me? If you want to train with him. I told you everything I can. It's up to you to inspire them and make your own, because a hero or someone who vows to protect should have more than one trick to be able to really protect. Now I'm going back, 𝗏𝗏 said as he went back to Izuku. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 looked at Dream. Okay, he told you so. If you want me to train you I will, and also, do you like it? I got those from a tech company employee I saved a week ago. He said he owed me, so I got those for you, Dream said happily. Will you guys watch the sports festival? Sadly me and 𝗏𝗏 can't, since we're vigilantes to the public eye and going there is suicide, but if the main body goes we would all be able to see. Would you like to see who would go so you would be able to know? Dream asked. You have masks, right? And nobody has ever seen your faces, so you could take them off. No, the mask is mine. Is a smiley face, right? That smile is to remind me of who and how I should be. If I ever take it off I would lose who I am. I was never brave, but with the mask nobody would ever know the real me. 𝗏𝗏 was weak once, you know, but he stood up for himself and got kicked, so he would always go to the forest and brawl with whatever he sees there, and I have my amazing speed to be able to run away, but now I use it to reach people in need. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 nodded after seeing how far they went to be able to see where they are now. Another thing you should know about the world: it is unfair, the climate, natural disasters, and many more. It's up to you if you want to keep it or you would level yourself to the others and reach even higher. Remember this, someone who would settle in the unfairness would never reach high and far. Be ambitious as you're young and do whatever it takes to get what you want in the right way, Dream said as Tommy and Tubbo appeared. Dream is right, but even if you're down, remember to stand up and try again to protect those and what you love. Dying is nothing but your loved one dying hurts more, so if you love someone you would make sure you would go home back to them. Always remember who you were, who you are, and who you want to be, where you came from, and those who you met along the road, and know who you would trust. Tubbo said. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 took the they said to heart. Are you the ones who would watch the UA Sports Festival? Yes, we are. We'll be cheering you on, but remember, don't tell anyone about us and do your best. Go on, it's time for your school to start. Tomorrow is the big day, right? 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 panicked, but luckily he already have his bag and uniform with him, so they allowed him to take a shower and teleported him to 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 was out of it. He kept thinking about what his mentors told him until lunchtime. He sat with his friend from the hero course. He was looking intently at his fish, 𝐬𝐽. His friend Hisashi Yamada was shouting his name. Huh, what is it, Yamada? 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 asked. I was asking you if you gained a bit of muscle lately and what's on your mind, because you've been looking at that fish for a while now, Yamada asked him. Oh, I was just, thinking about the sports festival. I mean, if I do good enough I get to join the hero course, and no, I haven't been training that much. I was focused on schoolwork. 𝐒𝐮𝐽 lied through his teeth. The next day, sports festival. The next day was the day of the UA festival. 𝐒𝐮𝐽 woke up earlier than usual, fixed himself, and raced to UA. Sure, he was nervous, but he was faithful of 𝗏𝗏, plus the principal allowed his yo-yo and scarf. As he arrived he met Hisashi on the way. Hey, you're earlier than usual and you look excited for once, Hisashi said. Well, I'm pretty confident that I'd do good today, Hisashi. Even though you're in the hero course, please tell me you won't hold back if we ever fight in the 1v1, 𝐒𝐮𝐽 said, holding his hand out, gesturing a handshake. Yeah, and you seem confident, so you have to do the same for me, Hisashi said, shaking 𝐒𝐮𝐽's hand. When they all lined up, one of the students from 1A did a speech, and soon it was announced the first game was going to be terrain course. There were different terrains made from 𝐶𝐮𝐬𝐽's quirk. As soon as the game started, 𝐒𝐮𝐽 used his scarf and grabbed a spike with it and used the momentum to fling himself on another. He got used to it, but he messes up from time to time, but he makes it up by duck and roll, then flinging himself again. Then he came across the last terrain, a rock climb, but luckily he was in the lead, so he quickly threw the end of the yo-yo he was surprised when the yo-yo actually reached the end, and he tugged on it to see if it was secure, but since it was weighted it balanced the weight by a bit, and also it was wrapped in a rock. He climbed it with expertise, as one of the things Techno told him was how to efficiently maneuver in any terrain. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴's hand reached the top, and he grabbed the end of his yo-yo and watched in surprise as it retracted itself, but he continued running till he reached the flag. And in first place is what in first place 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 from Class 1C. The commentator announced, clearly surprised, and 𝐻𝐿 was watching the whole thing happen, and he asked a staff member about the name and performance. He rewatched how 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 ran away from the bots during the entrance exam and how he was smiling the whole course. During those 2 months he improved so much. If he owe the rest of the participants for the 1 versus 1 are from the hero course, if he wins at least one fight he would be given the choice to change course. Got it, 𝐻𝐿 said as he watched Cementos clear the area. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 was eating with Hizashi and he was showing him his yo-yo and scarf. Where'd you get these? I honestly thought it was a toy, and how do you swing this so easily? Hizashi said, pointing to the yo-yo. That's it looks like a toy, but it can be very useful and lethal when needed, so the enemy would underestimate me, plus it can be hidden easily, and the scarf as well, it's really resistant to flame and water, also blades, so it can be used for capture. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 proudly mentioned. Where did you get these? I guess it took you a lot of money, Hizashi said whilst inspecting the items. Then a voice was heard. Hey 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, they were pretty happy about how you did, they kept telling us. 𝗬𝗏 said, oh hey Tommy and 𝗬𝗏, please tell them I'm thankful for the items and support, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said as he fist bumped both of them. Oh, this is my friend Hizashi Yamada. Hizashi, this is Tommy and 𝗬𝗏, they were friend with the one who gave me the items. Sup beach, Tommy said. Does he swear all the time? Hizashi said. Yeah, you'll get used to it, plus he's a really cool guy if you get to know him, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 whispered. Tommy nudged him again and gave him a piece of paper. He said if you could get that made exactly like it said there, it would help you, since you have to look at people, it would help lessen the strain, and the infrared mode will let you use your quirk with it. Will be cheering you on, Tommy said as he gave the paper Izuku made to 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 and left. Hi, it's me. You haven't seen me yet, but I'm basically the brain of the team. When you become part of the hero course you should get this made, which you will get into. I'm sure the speed and strength thought you well, and you learned how to use the yo-yo and scarf fast too. I'm gonna be cheering you on. Best regards, Izuku, the letter said, and he opened the other paper. Inside was blueprints to make special goggles for him. Hey 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, let me see, Hizashi said as he grabbed the letter and read it. Then he quickly grabbed the blueprint. 𝗬𝗏, the one who gave you those, were friends with them, and one of them was smart enough to make all these, and strength and speed, those two were the one they were talking about, were the ones who trained you, Hizashi said. If you call making you clean a whole beach training, then yes, but they did tell me all fighting styles in the world and even their own, and left me to master it and make my own, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said. What, a whole beach and all the fighting styles plus their own, even if not 𝗏𝗡, that's a big problem for others. Come on, show me theirs, Hizashi said. Okay, but just a bit, and I won't show you my own, you'll have to see it for yourself in the fights, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said as he hunched his back farther and took a deep breath. He stopped breathing and he punched continuously. Each punch delivered a weak gust of wind. That's the strength, so if you hold your breath your muscles tense and each punch is stronger, and jump back when you have to let it out to gain distance. That's one of his techniques. Now, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 his stomach in and lowered his head. Speedy paralyze. He then started to run so fast it was as if he was teleporting, and he was jabbing the air slightly. Then he stopped. That attack is used to hit some vital spots to paralyze the enemy for a while, but hit the wrong spot and you might die or kill, and by skinning your stomach in and lowering your head helps you move faster, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 explained. Will all the participants proceed to the arena for the 1 versus 1 please? An announcement was heard and they went to the arena. When they reached it, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 took a look on who he might fight. He noticed that he was the only one from a different course, as all the other contestants were from the hero course. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴's first fight was against a guy with an electrifying quirk. Once the match started, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 used his quirk to erase the quirk of his opponent and kicked his opponent out. Since his opponent has no hand-to-hand combat experience, and clearly most people were surprised that he actually won the first round. In his second fight he was up against Hizashi, which he clearly overpowered in hand-to-hand combat. In the semi-finals he was up against someone with a mutant-type quirk, which his erasure quirk has little to no effect on, so he decided to use his scarf. His opponent decided to use both of his fist and hammer them on him, but he dodged and wrapped his scarf around his fist and pulled it back, rendering it hard to use. He stood on his opponent's back. He made sure he have a good grip on the scarf and jumped off his back and used the momentum and his strength to throw his opponent off the ring. As he looked around, he saw Dream and 𝗏𝐻𝐻 at the roof giving him a thumbs up, which made him really happy. He unwrapped his opponent's hand and watched as the bots took him to Recovery Girl and left to take a break before his next fight. As he entered his training room, he saw 4 people in there. It was them: Tommy, Tubbo, 𝗏𝐻𝐻, and Dream. "Oh hey guys, I'm glad you got to watch even if you were on the roof. By the way, where's Izu? Won't I get to know him?" 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽 said. "Oh, he would never get out when there's someone or in public, and we would never let anybody see him if he don't want to wait, don't Izu?" Then suddenly Dream began to shift into their fusion. "Hi, did you like the scarf? I'm sorry I can't show myself to you because it's extremely dangerous for someone to even see one of us from the path we're gonna take now. There is one thing I have to tell you, a moment of hesitation could decide the battle. Do whatever you need to hide and stop hesitation and fear." Izuku said as he spoke. 𝐼/D's appearance was a little bit smaller than Dream, with 5 freckles on each cheek. The mask was tilted to the side to show one eye. His eye was dull with no light. "If you can't find someone who can make what was in the blueprint, come find us. Well, you did good. You surely will get into 1A now. Go on and win that last fight," 𝐼/D said as the 4 left the room, leaving 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻. 𝐼/D was slowly shifting to Dream as they were talking inside about why Izuku did that. 𝗏𝐻𝐻 and Dream jumped to the rooftop to watch 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻's last fight. 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 entered the arena. His last fight was against Namuri Kiyama, who won by making her enemies sleep using her quirk. 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 was thinking of ways to win the fight without hurting the girl. As of his moral code, something his father made sure to stick into his brain, he used his quirk to stop the quirk and carried Namuri to the edge and gently placed the flustered girl out of bounds, winning him the tournament. As soon as they were given the medal, 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 was called to the principal's office. "Hello, Mr. Principal, you called?" 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 said as he opened the door to the principal's office. "Hello, would you be interested in transferring to the hero course?" Nizu asked 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻. "Yes, sir." 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 answered immediately, and 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻 was transferred to the hero course. After congratulating 𝐼𝐮𝐻𝐻, Tommy and Tubbo decided to take a break and let Dream walk Izuku the way home. But as they were walking home, they heard something. It was faint, but they were sure they heard people call for help. When they looked above, they saw an airplane going in a straight course for the ground that would cause multiple deaths. Dream tried all he can running and teleporting to get there, but it was too high and any lower would get someone killed. "Come on, reach," Izuku said as he was the one controlling, but inside they were telling him to run away while they had the chance. Then suddenly the metal wings glowed and there appeared a girl wearing the wings who seemed to be wearing a lab coat and goggles. She let herself manifest as Dream shifted to her. Izuku saw this and was able to talk to her. "Who are you? Will you be able to help me save them?" But he noticed the metal wings. "My wings are for mankind's safety," she said as the wings unfolded to show their full glory, and they flew into the airplane's nose and tried pushing on it to soften the landing. Izuku was losing altitude. "Get out of there, Izu," Dream shouted. "Dream, 𝗏𝐻𝐻, prepare to help catch the plane and soften the landing. Tommy, Tubbo, wear a mask, sing a song for them to boost their abilities. There's no more time, hurry," she said as they all went outside and prepared to catch it. Somebody saw Dream and 𝗏𝐻𝐻 pose outside with their heads hang low and 2 others holding a mic with the music masks. "What are you doing? Won't you run?" A citizen told them. "As long as we're standing, we won't falter. We would try to save the people inside." 𝗏𝐻𝐻 and Dream said together as Tommy and Tubbo began to sing. As they began to sing, Dream and 𝗏𝐻𝐻 began to glow, as well as 𝗂𝐻𝐻𝐻, full beacon, burn out. 𝗂𝐻𝐻𝐻 said as the wings grew brighter than before. Slowly she was able to lessen the speed of the airplane's descent, and once near enough, 𝗏𝐻𝐻 and Dream jumped to catch the plane, and when it landed they unloaded the passengers to see if they were okay. As some people watched in amaze as they were able to stop the plane, unknowingly someone caught what happened on a video from the plane in the air. Till they unloaded the passengers, they were gonna help more, but police and ambulances arrived and pointed their guns at them. "Put your hands up," a police said. "Welp, time to bounce," as Dream ran along the walls and from roof to roof with 𝗏𝐻𝐻 and 𝗂𝐻𝐻 carrying Tubbo and Tommy in the air back to the base. "Bye, beaches," Tommy said while in the air, laughing with Tubbo as the police were looking at them with disbelief. Once they arrived in the forest, they all dropped in the pond at the end of the river as they relaxed, as it also is a natural hot spring even with their clothes on. Then Izuku broke the silence. "What's your name?" Izuku said as he swam near her. "Hi, I am 𝗂𝐻𝐻𝐻. You're lucky I woke up and managed to save you guys, aren't you?" "Yeah," the boys said as they looked to the side. We're not villains yet police seem to hate us, we're vigilantes aren't we, 𝐻𝐵 said as the boys nodded again. Hey Dream, I changed my mind, I want to be a hero but I want to stay as vigilantes and save as much people as we can instead of having to wait for orders to be able to save much more since we would still have to hide, either way my mom might try to kill us again, Izuku said looking at the sky. Yeah we should I see what you mean, even how high the number of heroes there are they still fail to save people, Dream said as they were all looking at the sky. But I'll do it my own, I'll only manifest you guys if needed but you guys can stay here, Izuku said. We could all be vigilantes but me. You and Techno mainly 𝐻𝐵 can do what she wants and Tommy and Tubbo could sing and perform for money but they could fight too if they want but maybe not all the time they are a little bit weak, Izuku said as they all laughed. Then you would need a suit, I could make you one, I'm an inventor after all, just bring me the stuff and I would make one for you. 𝐻𝐵 said they all left and took a good night's sleep in the grass while looking at the stars. Izuku was the first one to wake up, he took a hoodie and wore it, he began punching trees taking them down while Dream and Techno woke up and did the same collecting wood. Guys what are we gonna do with all these wood, Izuku said. We're gonna make a proper base in this forest so we should collect more, we should also count the remaining items as to how many haven't manifested yet. Dream said as they went back to punching trees down. 𝐻𝐵 woke up and saw the file of stuff they got from the beach, she looked over them and was thinking of making stuff that would help with the base while Tommy and Tubbo took some of the rare flowers they have and went to the city for some cameras and computers to make their debut video as well as phones for everyone and some more stuff 𝐻𝐵 told them to get. When they arrived at the forest they saw hundreds of logs stacked and the three smoothing them into planks. When they went inside the old shack Izuku used to stay in they saw 𝐻𝐵 making some little rectangle things. Hey 𝐻𝐵 what are these? Tubbo said, solar batteries and generators for electricity to use there. I'm done now, let go and help them with the base. 𝐻𝐵 said as she went outside. She told them what to put and whereas the boys did as she said. When night came they slept in the grass again. They woke up early to finish their treehouse they made. Then Izuku helped 𝐻𝐵 install the solar panels and the generators and hook it up in the house, and then they installed light bulbs and some defenses. They added a farm, greenhouse, medical section and a place that could be a laboratory if they had the money, and they also dug in underground rooms as an escape route. Time skip, it's been 2 years since they made their base. It's been a year since Izuku became a vigilante himself. They also awakened a sorceress named Stella whilst saving people from fire. Tommy and Tubbo became singers online making their own songs. Sometimes Dream, Izuku, and Techno guests at and sings with them. Izuku became the vigilante Bolt because of his speed and strength. Dream, Techno and Izuku patrols different areas. A lot of heroes had tried to catch them but they were simply too fast and stealthy to be seen. Izuku can be seen on top of a cell tower listening closely for any shouts for help and trouble with his radar. Every vibrations were portrayed to him as if a map. He was wearing a suit made by 𝐻𝐵 reinforced by Stella's magic. One of his eyes was covered and it was fitted with a voice changer. His weapons were an air gun. He could control how strong, either fatal or stun, made by 𝐻𝐵, a katana and a bow staff. Then he sees a girl his age by the looks were being assaulted. He quickly run through the roofs. He was glad the girl used her quirk to try and defend herself, earning him a bit more time there. He quickly took the gun and adjusted it to hurt a lot but not kill. He quickly shot all of them down to not waste time and tied them up and called the police. He was about to run away. Wait, can you please tell me my way home? The girl said. She looked rich, she had black eyes and hair with fair skin. What's your name? Izuku asked. He was taller since all the shift caused him to grow faster, so he had a body of a young man. 𝐻𝐵, she said. You're a long way from home, don't you have guards with you or something? You run away, didn't you? Izuku stated, leaning into the wall. They're overprotective, they don't let me experience stuff on my own, but now you wish they were here, right? Come here, let's go, Izuku said as he grabbed Momo's arm and carried her bridal style and jumped high enough they could see the whole city. After this, will I ever see you again? Momo asked. The world's big but we both live in it, so there might be a chance you see me again, Bolt said as he jumped again. About that experience thing, do you want to do it again but safely with me? Bolt asked. Can we really? But that would mean I would see your face, Momo said. I could always wear a mask, you know, so what do you want to do? We'll go whenever you want. Well, I would like to play in an arcade, go to concerts and travel, you know, stuff normal people. Do you know the duo, right? The one you sometimes guest with, Tommy and Tubbo. I want to meet them, Momo said. Oh, those two, do you want to meet them? I'm sure I can arrange something, Bolt said. Really, you could do that, Momo said with stars in her eyes. Do you want me to? Bolt asked. Yes, please. Okay, today is Thursday, so on Saturday you could meet them at night. I would go to your window, then we go to them, okay? Bolt said, what should I bring? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet them, something almost nobody but vigilantes were able to do. Momo said, you should bring your camera to take a picture. Oh, and they like sweet stuff, like really sweet stuff. Bolt said, laughing at the adorable young girl in front of her. Well, this is your house, see you on Saturday night, Izuku said as he jumped away. When he reached their base, Techno and Dream were there already. What took you so long? Dream asked. Tommy and Tubbo, you should get ready, a big fan of yours is gonna go here for a meet and greet with you, Izuku said as he was taking off his mask. What? Everyone shouted. Don't worry, we won't show her the way to go here, we could just jump over the streets so she won't know which way to take, plus it's a good experience for all of us, Izuku said. Knowing what he said, they began preparing food places they would show her guest, plus their newly added rooms like the music room, gaming room, laboratory, mess hall, the pool and the testing room. Time skip. It was Saturday night. Momo was really excited she'd get to meet two of her idols. She heard a knock on the door, and when she looked, there was Bolt. Hey, you ready? Make sure to bring your phone or camera, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance people would kill for, Bolt said. Of course, I brought everything, I even brought snacks for them, Momo said as she lifted her backpack. Momo hugged Izuku's neck with both hands as Izuku jumped high when they entered the forest. Why are we in the forest? Momo asked. We all live together in the forest where no one could see us. Oh look, that's our house, Izuku said as he pointed at their base. What did you make that? Where'd you get all the wood to make these? How about electricity? Momo asked. We made all of those for your questions, you would know soon enough, Izuku said as they dropped at the door and let Momo down. Hey, open the door, we're here, Izuku said as someone opened the door. Girls, open the door, one with blue hair and one with purple hair. Hey, you must be Momo, we heard you were a big fan of Tommy and Tubbo. Come in, my name is Azura. My name is Stella, as they let Momo in. Thanks for having me. Why did you guys really make this place? It's so cool. How about electricity? How do you get those? And food? Momo asked. Honey, there's a whole forest of fruits outside and there's animals to hunt, Stella said. And I make the stuff they use, such as solar panels, to make the whole place work, Azura said proudly. How about a tour of the place then? A voice said behind her. As she looked behind her, she saw Tommy and Tubbo right before her eyes with their signature clothes. She started squealing about seeing her idols. Oh sorry, it's just seeing you guys, the guys people never met or see for the first time, was overwhelming. Can we take a picture pretty please with all of you guys, but one with only Tommy and Tubbo first? Momo said. They took a picture of her with Tommy and Tubbo and one with all of them including Dream and Technoblade. Thanks a lot guys, Momo said as she was looking at the pictures. Now for the tour. This is the mess hall where we eat, Azura said as she showed her the mess hall. Then they walked off. This is where we all sleep if we want, but sometime we sleep outside under the stars, Stella explained. So you all sleep together, Momo said, which made the boys look to the side blushing. Of course, but if we want we could sleep in a different room, but this is better, Azura explained. And this where we make and record our music, Tubbo said as he opened the door showing their studio and instruments, which made Momo have stars in her eyes. Hey Momo, would you like to guest on our latest video? You could sing with us, Tommy said as he booted up all the machines and the cameras. Yes please, Momo said as they all chuckled at her eagerness. Momo, Tubbo, Tommy, Techno, and Dream sat in a line while Izuku was standing with Azura and Stella behind them. Hey guys, this our newest song, we're here with all of our friends and a guest, Momo Yarozu. Now let's go, Tommy said as they began to sing. Everyone, we are not your ordinary family, but we can all agree that we are close as close can be, Izuku, Dream and Techno, so it don't matter what it looks like, we look perfect to me. We got every kind of love. I feel so lucky indeed. They can keep on talking, it don't matter to me, cause we are family. As they were singing, the bottle inside Izuku glue again and their clothes changed into tuxedos and dresses of different colors. Everyone, we are family, we are family, Azura and Stella. So what? We don't look, we don't act, we don't walk, we don't talk like you do, so what? If we hang just to hang, ain't no shame, we gon' do what we want to Tommy and Tubbo. Cause we come from everywhere searching for ones to care, somehow we found it here, we found us a home. Everyone's clothes except for Momo's began to change to how they first appeared, and Izuku's body shifted to his younger one with tattered and dirty clothes. We are not your ordinary family, but we can all agree that we are close as close can be. Then their clothes began to change again into their own vigilante costumes and Izuku's body shifted to his current one, so it don't matter what it looks like, we look perfect to me, we got every kind of love, I feel so lucky indeed, they can keep on talking, it don't matter to me cause we are family Izuku. Okay, so the links in our chain makes us strange but really they make us stronger, and I wouldn't replace not a thing mother or father cause we come from everywhere searching for ones to care, somehow we found it, here we found us it. Home 𝐻𝐵. We are not your ordinary family, but we can all agree that we are close as close can be, everyone. So it don't matter what it looks like, we look perfect to me, we got every kind of love, I feel so lucky indeed, they can keep on talking, it don't matter to me cause we are family, we are family. As the song ended their clothes turned to normal and they posted the video with no editing. This is my laboratory, this is where I make their weapons. And other stuff for the house, 𝐻𝐵 explained as she showed Momo one of the Air Force gun Izuku uses and brought it with them. And the room next to my laboratory is the testing room, also used for training, 𝐻𝐵 said as she shot using the gun she brought and broke one of the targets. My guns are powerful and deathly, but it can be toned down to just a simple blow, strength up to an explosion-worthy one, 𝐻𝐵 said as she placed the gun away. As Momo nods in acknowledgement, they showed her the rest of their facilities, but Izuku had to retire early and told them to call him when it's time for her to go home, and went to the pool to practice breathing underwater and swimming. Izuku wore more weights than before and swam underwater without breathing. When he finished that, he began to throw little cubes in the pool and called 𝐻𝐵 to call which cube he should get. C69, 𝐻𝐵 shouted, on it. Izuku shouted as he dived again to find the cube mentioned. Izuku picked up a block. This is it, he thought as he went up to give the cube. Here, he said, tossing the cube to 𝐻𝐵. Nope, you're wrong, I said. C69 not 96, 𝐻𝐵 said as she threw the cube back in the water and flicked Izuku's forehead. Dummy, 𝐻𝐵 chuckled. Izuku decided fake having leg cramps. Ugh, 𝐻𝐵 help my leg cramps, ugh, Izuku said as he was faking drowning. Wait Izuku, I'm coming for you, 𝐻𝐵 said as she dived into the water. As soon as she dived, Izuku stopped and laughed. Really 𝐻𝐵, me having leg cramps, huh? Izuku was laughing loudly now as 𝐻𝐵 was hitting his shoulder. Oh, don't be mad 𝐻𝐵, it makes me happy that you dived to save me even if I didn't need it. Izuku laughed. 𝐻𝐵, take a deep breathe, Izuku said. What the heck? 𝐻𝐵 shouted as Izuku suddenly pulled both of them to the bottom of the pool. Izuku then brought them up and laid 𝐻𝐵 on the near the pool, laughing hardly. Have training by yourself, 𝐻𝐵 said, puffing her cheeks. Hey 𝐻𝐵, let's race from here to the other. And winner gets to order the loser once, what do you think? Izuku said. Fine, but if I win instead of once it'll be a whole day, 𝐻𝐵 said as she went back to the water. Ready, get set, go. Both of them said as they swam. Izuku was winning with all his training and was even jumping out of the water like a dolphin. In the end Izuku won. Now what will I make you do, 𝐻𝐵-chan? Izuku teased while 𝐻𝐵 was combing her hair with her hands. Hey 𝐻𝐵, have you ever fell in love? Izuku asked as he sat down at the edge of the pool with his feet submerged in water. Time seemed to slow down for both of them. Why do you ask? 𝐻𝐵 asked him back. Nothing really, I just happened to ask anyways. 𝐻𝐵-chan, I know what I'm making you do now. Lap pillow please, Izuku said as he turned around to look at 𝐻𝐵 and smiled. We should probably dry up Izuku, you have to take her home after all, 𝐻𝐵 said as they both stood up and went to the showers. They both took a shower and used one of Stella's spells to dry themselves up. And this is the pool where we practice, or Izuku practices mostly. Speaking of which, where are they? Tubbo said. Oh, we just finished a little earlier ago, come on let's eat before we take you home, Izuku said, leading the way back to the mess hall. After they ate, Momo said her goodbye and Izuku took her home. As Izuku was walking home, he got stopped by a scarf coming his way. Wow, seems like you got used to the scarf. How about the yo-yo, do you still use it as well, Izuku-kun? Izuku said, surprising Izawa. Izuku tried to jump again, but Izawa caught his arm with the scarf and tried to punch him, which Izuku dodged. Ah, that's how you wanna play, huh? Let's see how much you learned from them, Bolt said as he feinted a punch which made Eraserhead block his face and hid in the shadows. When Eraserhead opened his eyes, he didn't see anybody. He looked around him and didn't see him. Down here, Izawa-kun. Izawa looked at his feet to see Bolt punch his stomach, winding him out. Izawa was trying his best to capture Bolt, but Bolt just kept dodging as if he knew what the next move was. Help, Izuku heard with his enhanced senses and stopped. He punched Izawa one last time. Somebody needs help. Izuku said. Izuku ran, leaving 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 behind. He ran, then at the edge of his vision, he saw fire. There was no heroes nor firefighters in the area. He quickly used one of Asura's inventions, a little ball that if you break will foam up and stop fire. He quickly threw all three into the house to lessen the fire, and when inside he saw three men and he quickly guided them to the path that got foamed up and went back. Then he heard a faint help, she's weak from the smoke. Then he used radar to get where the girl is, only to see it was completely blocked. He tried carrying the debris away, but the structure would collapse. He also can't try to punch the debris away, it might injure the girl. He was hopeless. Come on, she's just in the other side of this wall, Izuku thought as his body began to shift into a boy the same age as all of his team. Then their body shifted back to his. Use my power to go through walls and save her, 𝐴𝐵 said as Izuku nodded. Izuku ran full speed, nothing slowing him down as he passes through it, and there he saw a woman shielding a baby with her body from the fire. Please save this child, forget about me, the woman said, but Izuku was prepared. He took one more of Asura's capsules and popped it, and a gas mask appeared and gave it to the woman. Ma'am, I'll get you both out of here, but you must trust me in this. Take a deep breath in the mask and hold on tight to me. The woman did as said, and Bolt used 𝐴𝐵's ability to go trough stuff, and he carried the woman and baby out of the building. Then Dream and Techno arrived with more of Asura's foam capsules, and they all threw it in the burning building, stopping the fire. They were about to jump away, but their hands got wrapped in a familiar scarf. They looked smirking at 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴. Stop right there, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said, making sure he has a good grip on his scarf, and took out his yo-yo. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴-kun, how have you been doing? Think you could defeat us all? Technoblade stated as 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 takes a stance. Then so be it, Bolt said as he used 𝐴𝐵's ability to hide in the floor, and he shot himself straight to 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 and punched him in the stomach, winding him out, and Dream and Techno jumped away, but Izuku used 𝐴𝐵's ability to shoot himself out of the ground, go through it again and shoot himself out, and repeated the process till he reaches their base. Hey, who woke up? They told me about it, Asura asked. He's 𝐴𝐵, he can go through stuff, and when doesn't want to go through but is still inside something, he gets spitted out, Izuku said, demonstrating. But after the things that happened, they were all pretty exhausted except for 𝐴𝐵, who just manifested. They decided the sky was so clear that it would be a shame to sleep indoors, and they went outside, laid on the grass, hid under blankets, and laid there talking before they fell asleep. Dream, you remember when all of this started, me being hunted, you coming in clutch to save me, training 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 and all those crazy stuff, Izuku said while he lifted his hand as if touching the stars. Yeah, then living out here in the woods. Izuku, are you happy with you know right now? Dream asked, glancing over Izuku. Of course I would always be happy with you guys. I'll take on the world with nothing in hand just for you guys, Izuku said with a light chuckle. If that's so, we should probably train for that, right? But for now we should relax for a bit, Dream said. As he closed his eyes, as soon as Izuku was sure Dream was sleeping, he stood up and walked for a bit till he reached the waterfall in front of the cliff. They jumped off to. He then went into the side and started punching it repeatedly at full power, which was making deep dents into it. His knuckles were bleeding, but he continued. After his arms stopped responding, he stopped and started kicking at it. Instead of using a chant to heal he learned from Stella. Asura woke up hearing some heavy pounding. She investigated where the sound was coming from, just to see Izuku with bloody knuckles and feet kicking at the side of the waterfall. Izuku, what are you doing? You're bleeding, Asura asked, rushing to him. Asura was trying to stop him. Izuku, stop, you're pretty hurt already, Asura said, trying to stop him. Oh gods from above, please nourish this soul healing, Izuku chanted as all the wounds closed up and healed with no trace. There, I'm good, Asura, Izuku said, walking to the wall again, began punching it. Izuku, that's not what I meant, stop, you're hurting yourself, come on, it's the middle of the night, Asura said as Izuku sighed. Okay fine, but you need to give me what I won earlier, Izuku said as he was walking back to where the others were. Asura sat on the ground and let Izuku lay his head on her lap. She combed his hair with her hands. Care to tell me why you were punching that waterfall, Izuku? Asura asked. You wouldn't like why? Izuku said, turning over to meet Asura's stomach. And why is that? Asura asked. Earlier, before Dream and Techno arrived in the fire, there were no heroes nor firefighters in the scene, yet the fire was so high you could see it from afar, and Izuku said, and when I heard a cry for help, the place where the last one was closed off, so I had to use radar to see clearer, but a few blocks away there were heroes, and you know what they said? Nothing big. That's what they said, a few lives were nothing big to them, Asura. They were dying and desperate. The woman lost all hope. If 𝐴𝐵 didn't manifest, they were dead, Izuku said, shocking Asura. And why would I like you less, Izuku? Asura asked softly. Because when I was short of options I hesitated, and that Moment that I heard their breath, it was really slow as well as heart rate. I unconsciously casted magic without chanting to keep them alive for a while till I get them out. Izuku said, Izuku, you're not alone, and remember, when you need help we're here for you, plus it worked out in the end. Azura said, no buts. Azura said right as Izuku was about to, just do better next time and play your cards smarter. Azura said, you know Azura, sometimes I wish I had a quirk. Izuku said, why are we not enough for you? Azura teased, no, you're more than enough, but I would like to get stronger to be able to protect you guys. You're basically my family, Izuku stated, clenching his fist. That's it, Izuku suddenly said. Azura, I almost forgot, but I have something I used to have. We're gonna go on a retrieval mission to get those records back. I might be quirkless, but those records have something that could help us even the playing ground between me and the others. Izuku said, what records and where is it? Azura asked. I used to read a lot of books and there was one breathing techniques and lots more. The breathing technique is like the one Techno and Dream uses, Izuku explained. It's in my old treehouse near the demon's house, Izuku said. When are we going, Izuku? Azura asked. Right now we're gonna have to use your wings since it was pretty hard to get into on foot, so we have to fly there, Izuku said as he wore his vigilante costume. And Azura wore her very own vigilante costume, which was a black skin-tight suit with electronic visors which control some feature of her costume, and a gamer headset. Her weapon was 2 air guns and 2 swords. Azura hugged Izuku from behind and took off carrying him close. After a while flying they landed on top of the tree house. Izuku quickly went through the shelves taking everything, but when he looked at the collection the most important one was missing. Oh no, I forgot where I hid one, Izuku said. Well, how about this room? Azura said as she activated a tripwire. A clicking noise was heard. No, the barrage, Izuku said as he hugged Azura and spun both of them, placing him on the receiving end of the barrage of the different kind of ammos, making Azura's eye widen at how much wounds Izuku got from that, but Izuku quickly healed himself. Watch where you walk. Most of the ones I tinkered with is here, and those are to scare of animal from here. Izuku said they were gonna walk outside, but Azura accidentally flipped a lever and a lot of squeaking sounds was heard. Izuku, which one is it? Azura asked. Oh my god, that sound, I remember now, it's hidden behind those piston and can only be seen with a lever, and it's there. Izuku pointed at a picture frame, then the picture frame moved to the side revealing a thick book. They took it and left. When they reached their base the sun was just starting to rise, and because of exhaustion both of them fell to the ground with Izuku hugging Azura tight. With the books scattered around from being dropped, but as soon as they slept Izuku woke up, took a pill and laid Azura on the sofa, took the books and went back to the side of the waterfall. The symbols in the book was weird, but Izuku was reading them. He quickly decided to try one out. As the majestic spirit of water you rise to heaven, the Prince of Thunder Emperor, I ask of you grant my wish, and lend us your ferocious blessing, show us your power to diminutive beings, strike you godly gold hammer and show us fear, flood the whole earth with water, rain washing everything away and exterminate it all, cumulonimbus, Izuku said as the wind picked up and the clear sky got covered in dark fluffy clouds filled the sky. It started to rain, and as he said the final word out loud multiple lightning strikes appeared in the air and hit each other mid-air, creating a big explosion. What was that? Dream said, appearing with the rest their guards up only to see Izuku standing but not moving. Izuku, what happened? Well, we saw, but what was that? Dream said as he run to Izuku. Dream, I can't move, that thing drained me out, Izuku whispered weakly before falling unconscious. Luckily Techno caught him before he fell to the ground. Izuku is seen in bed lying asleep from a sudden energy drain with all the members looking at him. Okay, tell me what happened. Who knows the full story? Stella asked. I know the whole story. Izuku was feeling bad for hesitating when saving a woman from the fire because of fear. So I found him punching the side of the waterfall, his knuckles bleeding, and I talked to him. He healed himself and went back to it, but when we talked again he remembered something he needed to get back, so we went and got it. Was by sunrise we arrived and fell to the floor from exhaustion, but you know when he gets energy exactly after sunrise, that might be what happened, and he took the books to try them. Azura told them about what she knows. You mean these books? Dream said, pointing to the books Izuku had with him. Yes, those books. Wait, what is in there that he needs so much? Azura asked in curiosity. They opened the books and they saw the symbols but did not know what it means. What is this? It's nothing but symbols, Technoblade asked in frustration, but at that moment Izuku's eyes glowed dimly on and off. Wait, look at it again, Tubbo said, and as they looked the weird symbols were moving itself and changing into Japanese symbols. This must be magic chants that eat energy, Stella said. Reading more. "Oh Lord, praise the land with your power in Atlantic water ball," Tommy said as a ball of water appeared out of nowhere and zoomed past them and into a tree, taking it down. "Okay, don't read it out loud," Tommy said, putting a hand over his mouth. "So to make that big explosion, he might have casted a spell so big his energy got drained." "Do you think he knew it was a spell book?" Tubbo asked whilst looking at the book. "So he thinks if he can't use quirks he can use this instead. Even so, these are pretty dangerous. Look here, it says a simple stutter would attack the caster instead of the target," 𝐬𝐮𝐬 said, pointing to one of the pages. What they didn't know was Izuku was awake and behind them already. "I don't need to chant though, I can do it without chanting," Izuku said, surprising them. "When did you wake up?" 𝐬𝐮𝐬 asked, rushing to his side. "Just now, and also I don't have to chant. I learned those before as a kid alone before I got chased. The only reason I collapsed is because I was tired," Izuku said, taking the books from their hands. "Now let's get on with the day," Izuku said as he went outside and the others did their chores and whatnot as Izuku, Dream, and 𝗏𝐻𝐻 went on their ways to vigilantism. Tommy and Tubbo in the recording room trying to make a new song whilst 𝐬𝐮𝐬 and 𝗧𝗟𝗧 went to the city to have fun for the day and do shopping for the group. Izuku is perched on top of a building, lightly tapping to make vibrations to help make radar work better. Then one of the vibrations touched something, showing Izuku it was armed robbery in the nearby restaurant. Nobody was dead yet, but there was a hostage, a young girl. Izuku rushed there. When he arrived, 2 people landed behind him, which he sensed was Dream and 𝗏𝗏𝗏. There were a lot of them, over 40. They were sure when they saw the hostage it was Momo, and it seems like this is where 𝗬𝐮𝐬 and 𝗧𝗟𝗧 plan to eat as well. "Dream, both of us go and you're the fastest. Try to grab Momo away from those guys. We'll cover for you," Izuku said. "Roger," the other 2 said as all 3 of them jumped down. Dream made a run for Momo and grabbed her, not before kicking the guy's head. Izuku was using a spell which shoots rocks and kept shooting small ones at the robbers while 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was beating the ones who are near people. Izuku signed to 𝗬𝐮𝐬 and 𝗧𝗟𝗧 to stay still and act like the others. One of the thugs pointed a gun at a woman, and shot time seemed to slow down for the 5 vigilantes. "Mama," a girl said, running to shield her mom. Dream run and positioned himself in front of the girl and her mom to take the shot. Izuku's left eye glowed for a second with lightning emitting from the side of it, and suddenly Dream and him changed places and time seemed to go normally again, and he took the shot. He fell down, his body appearing and reappearing again. Then it stopped. Izuku weakly held his sword and unsheathed it. "Hidden technique of the North. Everyday frenzy," Izuku weakly said as he stood up, run, and seemingly dashed to half of the robbers and fell. "Ha, hidden technique. What was that?" "There was no damage in any of us," a robber said, "but Dream and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 didn't fight those Izuku strike." Then suddenly those who got struck by Izuku fell paralyzed. "What happened?" the one who spoke earlier said. "Paralyzing venom in my sword. Everyday frenzy hides anything suspicious." "Who's laughing now?" Izuku said, using his sword to slowly stand up. He slowly walked to the girl and kneeled in front of her. "Tell me, when you tried to shield your mom, were you scared?" Izuku asked the girl as she nods. "What you did is neither smart or helpful, but let me tell you, not a lot of people can do what you just did. Even in fear you decided to shield for her. It was brave of you. Tell me, what do you want to be?" Izuku asked the girl. "I want to be a hero and help others," the girl said as Izuku smiled at her and turned around. He was about to jump with 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Dream, but before he could, the girl called out to him. "Thank you," the girl said, bowing at him, tears flowing down her eyes. "Stop that," Izuku demanded as the girl looked at him, still bowing. "Listen to me. What you did, I told you not a lot of people would do what you just did. Now raise your head high and listen to me. I, the vigilante bolt, grant you this," Izuku said as he opened his palm as some of the kitchenware dissolved, as well as one of his gloves, and formed a bracelet. "The bracelet of the brave. If you accept this, this would cling onto you and protect you from evil. It would change size to fit you," Izuku said. The bracelet was silver with leather wrapped at the top of it with 2 strings unattached. The girl wore it and took it, and as she looked at it, one of the villains grabbed her. "Ha, what is your little ceremony is ruined," he said, pointing a gun at the girl's head. Dream and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was about to jump into action, but Izuku raised his hand to stop them. The 2 unattached ends seemed to be alive and lengthening and wrapped itself around the gun and the guy's leg, and in one pull the guys dropped the gun and himself. After knocking the guy out, the strings seemed to return to normal, and the girl watched in amazement, but when she looked at Izuku's previous spot, but he was gone, and so is Dream and 𝗏𝗏𝗏. The girl's mother ran to her and hugged her, crying, "Eli, are you okay? Did you get hurt?" The woman asked her daughter, and soon police came to take the robbers in and took the statement of everyone in the restaurant. Expert detective 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗘 arrived at the scene with them, having solved many cases the SMP helped him with, and was the one to ask the girl name. 𝐻𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 truth T. What happened? They said you were targeted. Eli told 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 what she knew, leaving the part of the bracelet. Nothing. 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 was perplexed about this and eyed the girl up and down. Then he noticed the strings grow long again in a defensive position. Eli noticed the strings move and remembered what Bolt told her. The string will protect you from any kind of evil, and stood up. What are you planning? She said, clearly panicked, which surprised 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨. The strings are now really long and seemed to be in a kind of stance ready to protect her. 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 tried approaching her to calm her down, but the strings reacted and one of them wrapped around his hands, tying it together. Calm down, I'm not planning anything, 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 said, surprised. Tell the truth, or else. Eli said, I was only thinking of bringing you to the police station for further interrogation and happened to see that bracelet. Detective said as the string went back to normal. Phew, what was that? Is that your quirk? 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 said, no, it's the insignia of the brave made by the symbol of bravery himself. Eli said, truth. Who is this symbol of bravery? 𝗬𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨 asked. Who else? Of course the one and only. He wasn't a hero, so he wasn't obligated to do so, but he would always take a shot for the weak. One of the people you guys can't catch no matter how hard you try. The man whose whole identity is a world mystery, whose quirk can't be confirmed. Bolt, Eli said in amazement as 𝗬𝐭𝐡𝐨 drags his hand down his face. Of course it's him. 𝗬𝐭𝐡𝐨 mumbles to himself. I don't think you understand. He's a vigilante. He needs to be caught and stopped. He and his team, sure, they help a lot more than heroes do and cause less damage, and their power and skills is unbelievable, but they aren't licensed, 𝗬𝐭𝐡𝐨 said. But you know, even though they're bad, I could name a few they inspired, and now heroes that work harder than others. Those heroes trained to be like them, always there to help, 𝗬𝐭𝐡𝐨 said. Really, who are they? Eli asked. Eraser had a hero with the power to erase quirks by looking at the user, and Midnight a hero who release a kind of sleeping gas. They just graduated, but they have been racing through the leaderboard with no signs of stopping. Really? Can you tell me more? They're really popular. Eraser's technique are like them, fast, efficient, and safe, and no matter what, he would always talk to the victim to see if they are okay, just like Bolt does when they save someone. They make sure they are okay, sometimes even escort them to the police station. Wait, then why haven't you caught them yet? Eli asked. See, when they escort someone, they aren't afraid to enter if it means we could help the victim and avoid trauma, but as soon as they let go of the one they escort, they disappear out of thin air without a trace. 𝗬𝐭𝐡𝐨. After that, Eli went back to her mother and they went home. When they arrived home, Eli took a shower and searched up Eraserhead, and she went to a forum. Eraserhead is so cool. Even when he's just new, he acts like those three vigilantes. One of them saved me before. The way they did it was so alike. Yeah, yesterday he saved me too. The way he fights is so cool, like he knew the next move already. At first I thought I was screwed since he looked skinny, but when he punched that RP, he flew. Plus when I hugged him, his muscles were so hard. Eli read through the forum and comments. She also found some videos of his and Bolt's fights, and it really does look similar. Plus Eli was on her way home from school when she was cornered by bullies. They tried using their quirks on her, but the strings deflected everything. Then she suddenly felt being carried. When she looked at who it is, she was surprised. Hey kid, you alright? Why were those kids attacking you? Eli was surprised when she saw Eraserhead. Shota Aizawa grew a lot since his feathers left him to grow on his own, but he kept everything they said to heart, all the teachings and words. So instead of going away from the media, he liked it, and he made sure the world knew his name. He also wanted to try and be #1, but that's just a bonus, though. All he wants is to do his best. Like his 𝗬𝐿 said, he grew a bit taller, up to 6 feet 9 inches. He has an undercut, and his face was so handsome, but the most noticeable feature was that his bangs were slicked backwards. He looked pale and frail, but when you see his body, he was rocking an 8-pack under his sweater. I don't know, but can you tell me something? What do you know about the Bolt? Well, I met Bolt only once. He used to hide behind Dream and Technoblade. They were the ones who taught me everything I know. I used to think I should stay away from the media, but they showed me how to be a real hero and that I should always do my best, Aizawa answered. What did they tell you? Eli asked the pro hero. Why do you want to know? Aizawa scoffs. Who doesn't? I mean, he's fearless and strong, Eli said, causing Aizawa to chuckle. What's so funny? Eli asked, glaring at him. Strong, yes they are. Fearless, far from it, Aizawa said. He said under that smiley face, that boar hat, and the masks, they hide their fear. One was a boy who was afraid and always crying and hid all his sorrows behind a smile, Aizawa said as he smiled. One was a boy so weak he can't do anything, went to the forest and wrestled anything he saw and trained to be stronger. He hid all his doubts under that boar hat, Aizawa said as Eli listened carefully. One was a boy so trusting and friendly he greeted everyone with it. Smile, but he was betrayed by someone who tried to kill him, and everyone who saw him wanted to hurt him, so under that black mask of his he hid his insecurities. He only trusts them, that's why he only showed himself once. There are more of them, each has their own story, 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said. What about you, what's your story? Eli asked 𝐻𝐿𝐴. Me, I'm the boy who dreamed so high that seems so impossible for someone like me, so I got bullied but I still tried but failed. I was crying, I was powerless against those giant machines, but the 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵s saw me, asked what the problem is, and took me in and taught me their techniques and wisdom of them. 3-inch 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said, smiling. They told me the world is unfair, but it's up to us if we would rise or even the field every time. So tell me, what do you want to be? 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said. I want to be a hero, but I have a quirk. It's so powerful for my body to handle and breaks me when I use it. Eli said, looking at her bracelet. Do you want me to teach you what they taught me and some of my own as well? Like they said, it's up to us to rise to the challenge now. Eli Yagi, I showed 𝐻𝐿𝐴 used to be student of 3 vigilantes, offer to teach you our wisdom. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said, flashback. If you ever decide to take an apprentice, test them and their beliefs, and when you want to take them in, say, state your name, something you're proud to be, offer to teach you my wisdom and technique, say it with vigor, and when they accept, reach one of your hands out and say their name, then say, I would be happy to teach you all I can. Dream said, reenacting what he said. Flashback over. I accept, Eli said confidently. Eli Yagi, I would be happy to teach you all I can, 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said, shaking Eli's hands after deciding where they would meet and train. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 dropped Eli a few houses away from their mansion. When they landed to the ground, though, a lot of people recognized 𝐻𝐿𝐴. Oh, look at 𝐒𝐻𝐵, a girl said, rushing to him as a lot of squeals were heard. Oh my gosh, he's so handsome. He just started, but he's climbing the leaderboard fast as a solo hero with no agency, a lot said while taking selfies with him. Eli looked at the people and can't believe how popular he was. It was much more that the forum she read said, okay, no need to push each other, I'm sorry, but I have to send her home, 𝐻𝐿𝐴 said politely, showing Eli. The crowd gave way and 𝐻𝐿𝐴 watched Eli as she walked back to their house. She knew her father 𝗧𝗏 Yagi was All Might, the #1 hero, and she could always ask him to train her, but her hero was Bolt, and the man who asked to train her was their apprentice in strength. All Might is better, but 𝐒𝐻𝐵 was also strong, not as strong as All Might, but he has the technique to defeat him. He was smart as well. Mom, I'm home, Eli shouted as she was entering their house mansion. She saw her mother and All Might waiting for her at the door. Young lady, do you know what time it is? You almost just died. I called your school and I even made your father look for you. Where were you? Her mother Amy asked sternly, arms crossed. Mom, don't worry, come on, Bolt gave me this. Even those bullies can't land a finger on me, Eli said, showing the bracelet. If you want, you can even ask Dad to try and hit me once, Eli said, surprising her parents. Wait, Bolt, when did you meet him? All Might asked. Yesterday when we ate out. We got in a hostage situation and someone. Amy started. Someone? What, Amy? All Might asked in concern. One of them shot at me, and Eli tried to take the bullet, but suddenly all their places sucked, and Bolt took the shot for all of us. When all the villains were down for braveness, Bolt gave her this, saying it will help save her from any danger. At first I thought it was a joke, and Eli accepted it. Amy said, it's hard to explain, Dad, but I can show you. Let's go, Eli said, eagerly running to their personal training room with them following. Come on, Dad, just try to punch me, Eli said, taking a stance. All Might hesitantly did as told, but both her wife and daughter seemed eager, so he tried punching her without using his quirk. Then the string seemed to be alive and moved to stop his fist, even spinning to act as a shield, surprising him. What is this? All Might asked. They stop everyone and thing from hurting me, and it can also sense bad intentions towards me. When one of the thugs tried taking me again, they moved and took them down, Eli said as the strings came back to its former position. All Might was phased about this. Her wife and daughter almost got killed, but especially this thing. Even without using his quirk, he was still strong, but this flimsy strings stopped him. Not knowing what to do, he walked to the dining room and sat, his daughter and wife following, and they began eating in silence. Eli was nervous, glancing towards her parents. Mom, this might come out of nowhere, but I want to train to be a hero, Eli said, shocking both her parents. Eli, why didn't you say so your dad could always dash? Not Dad, Eli said, shocking her parent again. No offense, but Dad is strong, but he doesn't have technique, Eli said, her voice merely a whisper. Okay, then who or where do you want to train? We can always sign you up, her mom asked. 𝐒𝐻𝐵, Eli said. The new hero, he is good, but he's always on the move. I don't know if he would agree if I even could ask him, 𝗧𝗏 said, placing a spoonful of meat in his mouth. I met him today and I asked if he could. He told me he could but not without your consent. Eli said. Her face started glowing up. Are you sure you would train, or do you just want to see his handsome face? I know he got a huge fanbase of girl all squealing about how handsome he was, her mom teased. No, it's not that, Mom, Eli said, blushing. Okay, calm down, no need to shout, All Might said, calming the two down. It's just the detective yesterday told me stuff about him, and Bolt used to be old friends, and Bolt is pretty strong, and unlike Dad, he has a technique most can use, not just knocking them out with one big punch. Eli said, ouch, it's true though, his moves is not something you would see just anywhere. It's like he knows the next move, and that's not even his quirk, and all his fights doesn't have any property damage and fast. All Might saying what he knows. That's not all, he also talks to people he saves to see if there are any trauma that they might have from what happened, but luckily he always gets there right before anything bad happens, and he fights quirkless. Not once was there any signs of quirk used, her mom said, reading more from her phone. Right, and he looks normal and weak, but under that big sweater lies his abs. His weapons is that scarf he always wears and a yo-yo. Eli said. When she looked up, her mom was smirking and her dad stopped moving, just looking at her. What did I say something wrong? She asked. Under that big sweater of his lies abs. How do you know that, Miss Yagi? Her mom teased, causing her to blush. Mom, come, one is twice as old as I was. He carried me away from bullies and I just felt it when we were so high up. I hugged him, plus look at his photos online, she said as she lowered her head down. Her mom searched his name and there was a video when he saved someone from drowning and took his goddamn sweater off, showing his 8-pack, plus when his hair wasn't slicked back he looked much cuter, and the way the water shined highlighted his body that looks like they were sculpted by the gods. In fact, they were by 3 vigilantes, 𝐻𝐿 gods. I got to say, he looks like a model, but your dad's buffer. Okay, back to the point, where would you guys train if I were to let you? Amy asked. He said we're gonna train in different terrains like he and 𝐶𝐿𝐿 are used to do, to train different techniques. I could even bet he could defeat Dad easily, Eli said. Well, anyways, he said he would train me either way. Just wanted to tell you guys, Eli said before running to her room when the statement sunk to her parents. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 was about to come to her, but Amy stopped her. She'll be fine, Toshi, she'll learn more this way, plus she barely has any friends and you're mostly out doing hero work, Amy said. All Might was about to answer but decided against it. Okay, but he better know that if anything happens to her he's dead meat, All Might said, clenching his fist. They finished cleaning up and went to sleep. Izuku was done patrolling for the night, so he went back to the forest. I'm back, Izuku shouted, just to see Dream and Techno already home eating. He just quickly changed clothes and went outside to practice what he calls 𝐶𝐿𝐿. He's good at it already, but he wanted to be better and cast faster. How he does it even he doesn't know, but when the feeling of magic at his fingertips come, he know it's working, and he felt it go as a water ball came flying out of his hand. He kept his hand aimed at the side of the waterfall, casting different spells at the same time. While water ball covered a lot of space whilst being small, Stone Hedge can be pretty lethal when shot fast as well as when enlarged, which he can do easily. One thing he knew was he can choose the speed and size of the spell, improving lethality, and right now he's doing his best to shorten the time to charge it full speed and making it big. He kept going at it for about an hour when suddenly everyone suit up. A lot of kids got kidnapped and taken to a warehouse. We're gonna need all hands on deck, 𝐻𝐿𝐿 said as Izuku hurried back and saw the rest rushing to wear their suits, and Izuku took his and wore it. They lined up outside. Wilbur just got his own suit and made his debut as Phantom recently. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 and Stella took flight in the air whilst Wilbur kept popping and coming out of the ground, whilst Izuku, Dream, Technoblade, Tommy, and Tubbo ran and jumped through the roofs. Target locked. There seems to be more kids than we expected and a lot more men, all of them armed with different guns. Quirks unknown, 𝐻𝐿𝐿 said through he headset, which was like a pilot's and a gamer together. Soon all of them met up at the roof. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 and Stella were in. Okay, so here's the plan. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 and Stella is our air and range support. Tommy and Tubbo try to gather the kids away from the fight, after that protect them and support us. The rest we're gonna go front. All of them nodded. They rooked their positions. The frontal and support ones stood in the glass roof above the kidnappers, 𝐻𝐿𝐿 and Stella circling in the air like vultures. Izuku casted to move the cement to shield the kid's head. 3, 2, 1, go, Izuku said as they broke the glass and jumped down. The kidnappers didn't have the time to look up as Wilbur shot out of the ground and punched their stomachs. Izuku, Dream, and Technoblade took out their weapons and started slashing through the villains. 𝐻𝐿𝐿 had her light swords knock or trap the villains. Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 took the kids and took them in a corner and sang to help heal them, momentarily kicking some villains who got near to them. Almost all of the villains were down. They heard a thumping sound and out came was a man. It had black skin, nearly triple their height. Izuku, Techno and Dream quickly charged at it, narrowly dodging its fist, and climbed at it, but when they slashed their sword in its skin, the wooden swords broke and they got thrown away. Things got worse. Some of the villains woke up and started targeting the kids, leaving the rest occupied. "We have no choice, we have to buy time for them," Izuku said as they went for round 2 with their fist, but to no avail. They got thrown away into the wall. They stopped moving. They were watching as the giant walked to Tommy and prepared its fist ready to punch him along with the kids. Izuku, Dream, and Techno weakly stood up but ran at the giant to save their friend, but they tripped and hit each other and tumbled while rolling. A light engulfed them, and where they once were stood 3 different people. In Dream's place stood a boy, just the same as him except he wore a black hoodie with red outlines, his face hidden in the darkness of the hood. In Techno's place stood a boy wearing a yellow crown with brown hair, his face hidden by his hand, and where Izuku once stood was a boy wearing a blue hoodie with a weird emblem at the back, holding a giant black sword. He was wearing a blue helmet covering his face. "Looks like we woke up at the same time," the brunette said. "Sleep," Eret said as the villains that was down earlier fall back down. Vex, the boy in black hoodie, said as little flying things appeared and knocked the remaining ones down except for the giant and disappeared. "Ender strike," the one in blue said as he disappeared and appeared in front of the giant and started reappearing again and again. Once he stopped, the giant just fell down to the ground. Then Dream, Izuku, and Techno appeared again, a little bit better. "Hi guys, I'm Eret," the one with the crown whispered. "Hi, I'm Rain," the one in blue said. "Hi, I'm Bad," the one in black said. They discussed what they were gonna do and decided to call the police to pick the villains up. They lined the children up and started to walk with them to the police station. Once they were near, they stopped. "Here, can you give this to 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴? He'll protect you next and take you back to your homes, okay?" Izuku said as they kids nodded and marched into the station. 𝐬𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 POV-+++++. "I'm stuck with lots of paperwork. When I started, I took that DM in SMP's case to catch them, but lately they've been getting some new members, and each member of theirs help people, more people, they help more paperwork for me, and what's the worst is that they split up, covering more area, and their pace is still the same. It's like they don't rest. I like them. They've been helping a lot more than all the heroes combined. They've been doing what some heroes pass up on, either too scared or not flashy enough. When did I last take a vacation again? I think to myself, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴, someone's looking for you, my colleague told me. Sweating, I ran downstairs just to see kids. And oh, hundreds of them. The kids that were reported missing came marching here demanding for you, my colleague told me. Don't tell me they, oh god, each thing days they help hundreds if not thousands of people and do these major cases. Hey Risa, can you help me? I ask Risa, she's my friend and long-time crush, even when we were just interns here a month before he appeared with a girl with him. Ah sir, are you 𝐬𝐮𝐴? A girl asks me. Yes I am. The girl gave me a piece of paper. Most of us got injured, so recovery time for us, plus we were planning a little break, so hooray, less work for 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴. So, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐴, have you told Risa yet? Don't deny it, I always see you glance at her. Go for it while we're gone and take a vacation. Oh, also they're up to you to get them back to their house. Even if I'm injured I can still come for you guys. He go for it. Red heart, red heart, red heart. I read the letter. The whole SMP was in shambles. 𝐴𝐮𝐻𝐵, Stella and the new ones are the only ones unharmed. Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 got a lot of wounds, nothing fatal or that would leave a mark. Wilbur had his left arm was broken from shielding a kid, but Izuku, Dream and Techno got the worst of it all. Even after getting hit head-on and thrown away, they still went back for a second round without their swords just to buy time for them, and even tried to stand up to shield Tommy the moment they were back at their base. They placed the 6 in the infirmary. After inspection, the 3 all broke some of their ribs. Luckily, before further damage, Izuku was able to cast a minor healing spell at the moment that did a little bit of help to keep Techno and Dream intact, but Izuku wasn't able to do it to his body since only advanced level could heal the caster. Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 sing one for healing and adrenaline rush. If you can, I know Izuku, I felt him use heal when they went flying. He'll do it again once he gets energy, Stella said as she healed Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 fully first but lost her energy afterwards. After a while singing, they heard Izuku mumble, "Oh Lord from above, please nourish these warriors who perished." Healing. Then Techno and Dream's body glowed green and then their bodies were repaired, but Izuku's body had little to no effect and he was in a critical situation. No good, all magic either won't work or little to no effects. 𝐴𝐻𝐵 said then the machine shows that his heartbeat was getting dangerously low. 𝐴𝐻𝐵 quickly rushed to his side and started treating him. Izuku's eyes opened with a glare at them. His hand glowed. Telekinesis, Izuku said weakly. What the heck are you doing? I'm preserving my energy to heal. It's hard enough already. I'm trying to locate the book that has spells that can't be dispelled, Izuku said in their head. Oh, and after that you can figure the rest out yourselves, Izuku said as he went back to sleep and making his heart rate slower. Right? Dream, Techno and Wilbur kept lying in the infirmary to rest while Azura was there sitting in the corner couch watching over them while the rest went to sleep. In another country in the Philippines, a slim beacon of light glowed directly at the center of the famed Bano rice terraces in a small temple directed at a book. Sensei, the book's glowing. A monk said to his the book has finally found someone worthy. Now we must rejoice. The book that we've watched for centuries will serve someone who will bring peace, the said, but the book stayed in place. The book is supposed to get to its or isn't it? Another monk said. It's simply taking its needs in the flight and for its wielder. After all, it takes a lot to prove you're worthy of it. Some hardly done even for death. Let it be. We must go now. Our service is done. The 𝐒𝐮𝐬 said as they bowed one last time and left the book. Then took apples and casted tons of healing and resistance spells into it and took off through mountains and volcanoes and above the sea and skies and through the forest. Izuku is in and straight through the window. Azura shouted, but after seeing the book she knew it was the one Izuku was finding. The book flew near Izuku and opened up a page and Azura read through it. Alright, I'll do it. Wait, we don't have any of this, Azura said. A magic-imbued apple, where could we even get that? Azura asked as the book moves to the side to show thousands of enchanted golden apples. Okay, I'll get to it. Azura placed a golden apple in a glass dome and hooked it up in the four connected to Izuku and let the process take place. Izuku's body began to glow. After a while it began to shake dangerously. She was about to stop it, but it already stopped and Izuku's body was fully repaired. Azura watched as Izuku opened his eyes, surprised to his left eye turn into red and stay glowing. Thanks Azura, I really thought I was dead, Izuku said carefully, sitting his head fixated on his hand. Izuku, your eyes, Azura said with a hand over her mouth. Oh. So I did die. Thank you for bringing me back to life, Izuku said, finally looking at her and scratching the back of his neck, chuckling softly. Slap. Azura slapped Izuku's face hardly. Izuku kept his head down. You should have stayed down that time when your sword broke and left the rest to us. You shouldn't have learned magic distortion. You shouldn't have come to the mission when your magic reserves were low. You tell me you died and laugh. Is life that meaningless to you? Azura said, her hair covering her eyes. The rest of the SMP came to the balcony to see the commotion, to see Azura yelling at Izuku, who has a red handprint showing at his face. My life is important to me, of course. That's why I learned magic distortion, because I know if someone else knew the same magic I have, then it's big trouble, and if I wasn't there the mission might go a lot worse than it has, Izuku said. I felt that something might go wrong. That's why I came. We just got lucky. Someone manifested and saved us. My life. If I die, you all come with me, and I don't want that, so I'm finding ways to get stronger, Izuku said, his eyes covered. I'm dead to the world. I'm that kid who got lost and assumed dead. Me and Dream saw the news when it's just the two of us. Still, I can't work or anything. That would need so many things, because if she found me I die. You die, and I don't want that for you guys. If you guys want, you could go and live your lives. I won't stop nor call you back to help me. You can take your things and go, Izuku said, standing up. Thanks for resurrecting me and for helping me. I'll just heal up and continue to work as a vigilante. Don't look for me, Izuku said as he casted a spell for the ground to make an underground path he could hide on, and jumped down the ground, eating him up, and ran aimlessly in one direction. Azura was surprised at how far Izuku was thinking ahead. He might be 9 years old, but he was more mature than most, and smarter too. It was just a bad match that they got surprised by a villain with thick skin and giant body. After all, what happened? Dream asked. I used the book and turns out he died not long before I healed him. And Azura said. What did you do, Azura? Tubbo asked. I slapped him and shouted at him, Azura said, surprising the rest. In exchange of resurrection his eye changed color, Azura said. He gambled that in exchange of me to have power to live so you guys can. A voice spoke. They looked at it, the book glowing. I choose who I abide, and I chose him. I've never been used for centuries. Azura, you're a part of him. He dies, you all die. He knew I was watching and took that risk to gain power to fight and live another day. Now I must go to his side, the book said as it floated in Izuku's direction. I'll go talk to him, Dream said as he tried to manifest. Guys, he won't let me manifest to him. Dream said as they all tried to do so, but to no avail. They tried calling his phone to see it on the bed. They were lost without him. Then they heard a knock downstairs, so they ran thinking it was Izuku, but they were met by a carpet filled with stuff. The items. Why would he send this back? They saw a letter on top of the items. Hi, sorry, I know I told you you're free to do whatever you want, but please, if they manifest, show them how to survive and take care of them. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐻. The letter read Techno, and Dream walked outside their base. Where are you two going? Stella said. I won't bother trying to find that brat. You heard the book. He wants to get stronger, to live and fight another day. I won't let him do all the work, Techno said as he walked to the woods to find anything to fight, whilst Dream followed behind, leaving others there to think for themselves. 𝗬𝐵, what do you say we follow those two? Let's get stronger and be in the front lines as well, not just some support for them. Tommy asked 𝗬𝐵. Yeah, let's go. Let's put our songs aside for now, 𝗬𝐵 said as they walked. Hey, you two, don't leave us behind, the two shouted as they ran to them. Tempting, but no thanks, Wilbur said as he ran in the opposite direction of the four. I'm gonna go train myself. When we get back, be stronger, Wilbur shouted before getting swallowed by the ground and shoot out of it. I know what I need to do. It was my fault after all. I told them not to bring their real weapons. I'll make new ones, better gear for them when they get back, 𝐴𝐵 said walking to her lab. I guess I'll show you guys around first, Stella said to the new guys. I ran off without knowing what to do. Izuku sighed. Where even am I? Izuku asked himself as he bent the spell to dig upwards. He peeked his head to see himself near the police station. The book opened a blank page and wrote, make a new identity a public one. Yeah, sure, show me a spell to change appearance, Izuku said, and the book flipped to a different page and showed one to change hair and eye color. Fine. Izuku used the spell on himself, but his eyes never matched. Soon he settled for a bubblegum theme, making his hair light blue with light pink streaks, and his eyes were light blue and pink. He looks older than he is based on height and voice. He looks at the age of 18 to 20 at least, but in reality his 10th birthday was just a month away. He used a spell to change his clothes as well. He wore a pink oversized sweater and some jeans as well as glasses. As he was about to enter, he remembered one thing, quirk. He needed one. I'll just go for command and say the spells are made by it, Izuku thought to himself as he entered. Hi, where can I go to apply for a job? Izuku asked as he entered. The policeman 𝗧𝗓 was quick to tend to him. Oh yeah, we were just low in manpower. What do you think you can do? 𝗧𝗓 asked him. Oh yeah, I want to be a detective or police, but anything works for me, Izuku said, scratching the back of his head. Oh okay, let's take an interview here, 𝗧𝗓 said as she led him in a room. Okay, so your name? 𝗬𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨 Galaxy, Izuku answered. What is your quirk? Well, my quirk is command. It's pretty hard to use, so I only use it once a day most of the time, but it lets me command atoms for a few seconds, but it takes out a lot of energy, Izuku explained. Okay, you're in as a detective, but you're gonna be working with me, 𝗧𝗓 said as 𝗬𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨 bowed to her. Yes ma'am, when should I start? 𝗬𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨 asked. You could start today. I'll show you around. 𝗬𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨 and 𝗧𝗓 was in the cafeteria eating. So do you know the places now? Most of the time we go to briefings of cases and investigate, 𝗧𝗓 said. Oh, 𝗧𝗓-san, I can kind of do this with my quirk, 𝗬𝐻𝐭𝐡𝐨 said. What is it? 𝗧𝗓 asked. Tell me anything you need to find, either for work or not, 𝗬𝗍𝐴 said before taking a spoonful of 𝗏𝗧𝗏. Okay, there's this missing girl named Sylph. Try to find her, 𝗧𝗓 asked, bemused at her junior. Okay, now you'll see why I can be a good addition. 𝗬𝗍𝐴 quickly used search but acted like he's exhausted when done. There's 4 named Sylph here in Japan, but based on their location I think the one missing is in this harbor. Looking by their places, she's held with some other kids, 𝗬𝗍𝐴 said. Are you sure? Let's go investigate, 𝗧𝗓 said with stars in her eyes. How'd you do that? Assuming you're correct, 𝗧𝗓 said. Well, physical stuff is hard to do, but it basically let me search through the world atom by atom, 𝗬𝗍𝐴 explained. Okay, let's go search the harbor, 𝗧𝗓 said, standing up. 𝗧𝗓-san, don't you think we should ask for reinforcement? There are more kids with her and they're being held. I suggest Eraserhead, 𝗬𝗍𝐴 suggests with a sweat drop. 𝗧𝗓 might be my senior, but she's a little overexcited. 𝗬𝗍𝐴 thought to himself. 𝗧𝗓 called Eraserhead and told him where they're going, and they decided to bring 𝗬𝗏𝐶I along. The car ride was awkward. 𝗬𝗏𝐶I was too scared to talk to 𝗧𝗓, and Eraserhead was too busy driving. Hey 𝗬𝗏𝐿, what else can you do with your quirk? 𝗧𝗓 asks. My quirk's pretty weak compared to Grandpa's, but I can basically command atoms or communicate with them to move, and sometimes show what they see. Rumor travels faster in solid since they're compact and make them do stuff, but it makes me pretty dizzy and takes energy. 𝗬𝗏𝐿 said. Wow, that's helpful. What about your grandpa then? 𝗧𝗓 asked. Grandpa, he's really strong, he can just wave his hand in the air and fire or a giant boulder come shooting out and he can do it effortlessly. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 lied. Luckily, 𝗬𝐲𝐶 was wearing a headset to keep himself busy. Wow, your grandpa must be really strong, Risa said. Yeah, he is, 𝗬𝐮𝐬𝐵 said. 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵, is your hair natural? Risa asked. Oh yeah, it gradually changes from time to time. Want to see something better? 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 asked. Yes. Risa nods. Okay, look. 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 took off his glasses that was hiding his eyes. My eyes changed too. How cool is that? 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 said, leaning over to her till their nose touch each other, making her blush. Hey 𝗬𝐻𝐮-kun, why does it glow? Risa asked. Oh, the quirk runs along my family, sometimes missing a generation, but my grandpa told me that his great-grandfather used to be a vigilante even before heroes were around, 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 said. Then my grandfather's great-grandfather, he could feel others' emotion, and at that time there were no quirk laws yet, so people with quirks were hostile to those who don't. He made his left eye glow to make people see that light of hope through the darkness, as if to say they can find a ray of hope through a sea of darkness. Unbeknown to him that it was passed through heritage, 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 said. Wow, that's so cool. Risa said, still blushing at how close their faces are. For a moment 𝗬𝐻𝐶 opened his eyes and saw his crush's face so near to her. Junior, stop playing around, it's annoying, he said, surely annoyed, and 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 complied. Hey Risa-san, is 𝗬𝐻𝐶 always that grumpy? 𝗬𝐻𝐮𝐬𝐵 asked. He's just annoyed his favorite vigilante left him with a bunch of kids. Risa said softly but was unheard as 𝗬𝐻𝐶 was fast with saying, I'm not grumpy, just annoyed. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said fast. Oh, why, we're not noisy, are we? Oh, you don't want me close to her, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said, but before 𝗬𝐻𝐶 can say anything. It's not like she's your girlfriend or anything, is she? 𝗬𝐻𝐶, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 say. Provoking 𝗬𝐻𝐶, his eye glowing brighter. And also I kinda like Risa-chan, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said as he swiftly placed a hand around Risa's waist and pulled her body closer to his, and the other one to pull her body closer to his chest. Risa, on the other hand, was blushing redder than any tomato, which only intensified when she was pulled closer to his body and she felt it, his muscle hidden under that pink sweater. Of course I'm joking, I only wanted to hear 𝗬𝐻𝐶's voice, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said, laughing. It was kinda quiet, so I thought it was a good idea. Besides, 𝗬𝐻𝐶-san was getting in the way of our conversation, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said as he purposely let his deadly aura around the car, which made everyone else stop moving. Aizawa accidentally stepped on the brakes. Aren't we still a bit too far from the harbor? 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said as he took his aura back again and pointed outside the window. Luckily they were the only on that road at that time. Oh right, I just accidentally stepped on the brakes, Aizawa said as he got back to driving, sweating bullets. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 let go off his gun's handle he held by instinct. He looked at 𝗬𝐻𝐶's heterochromatic eyes. Who are you really? 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said, gasping for air. Oh, pardon me, I'm 𝗬𝐻𝐶_GALAXY, the junior and voluntary assistant of Risa-sen. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said, expecting. Ah. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 shouted, clutching his head. Oh, I better tell you guys, the eye gives me protection from any quirk, so please refrain from trying. Release your lucky you used it on me, try that on my grandpa and your head goes poof, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said, looking down at 𝗬𝐻𝐶 who was looking at him. My grandpa had exponentially more power than me and thinks too far ahead and gave this to us too, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said. Now I am 𝗬𝐻𝐶_GALAXY, the junior and voluntary assistant of Risa-san, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said. True? Oh, we're here, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 said as he opened the door and walked outside, the others following after. This guy's not normal, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 sent to Aizawa. Don't let him out of your sight. Aizawa sent to 𝗬𝐻𝐶 and they nodded at each other. They walked trough the harbor following 𝗬𝐻𝐶, who seems to be mumbling something. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 crouched onto the floor and pulled a tarpaulin off to show a hidden entrance. They climbed down it to see a really long yet wide hallway. Guess we keep going forward, Aizawa said as the rest nodded. They kept walking until 𝗬𝐻𝐶 shouted as he pushed his arm forward and the rest got pulled back. Barrier, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 shouted to make a blue barrier covering the whole hallway. It won't work, repel, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 shouted, and soon a giant who looked like he was made of stone came flying at them with its fist ped back, and sure enough its punched shattered 𝗬𝐻𝐶's barrier and straight to 𝗬𝐻𝐶's chest. But a small barrier appeared there, and when the giant hit it, it got sent flying back. But as well as 𝗬𝐻𝐶, the three was surprised as they got pulled back to be saved from the attack. 𝗬𝐻𝐶 took the hit with his quick thinking, pushed the thing backward. They heard a swoosh and saw the thing coming back again, unscathed. They were too shocked to do a thing, but then 𝗬𝗍𝐶 came back as well with his left hand imitating a pistol. Stone shot, 𝗬𝐻𝐶 shouted as a chunk of the wall appeared in 𝗬𝗍𝐶's hand and came shooting at that terrifying monster. And then sonic boom, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said as he spun, taking a deep breath and blew a ball of air at the monster, who got shot further. Aizawa, you might have the skill and taken their words to heart, but you still cower in front of overwhelming danger, 𝐒𝐮𝐴 said as he took a breath and tossed a disc to Aizawa. Go to them and tell them you froze in front of danger. Take Risa and Tsukachi with you and drop them at the station. I'll meet you guys at the station. That thing will show you the way, 𝐒𝐮𝐴 said. Forget. 𝐒𝐮𝐴 said he removed the thing about him knowing the SMP out of their memories, but the thing they needed to do, fire flower, 𝐒𝐮𝐴 shouted as fire that looked like vines and flowers erupted from his hands and into the monster. He ran after it and locked his legs in its neck. Saint level fire magic, volcano, as multiple magic circles appeared in his palms in a row, and out came fire that seems to be coming out of volcanoes straight into the beast mouth. Just to be safe, bind, 𝐒𝐮𝐴 said as he mixed the beast into the wall and he ran forward. There he saw the room where the kids were kept. He opened it to see the kids crying, their 7 kids, and he walked them all to the station, not before calming them down and telling them it's okay. When he arrived there, he saw Risa asleep on the couch and Tsukachi in another. He used a spell to make the couch into a bed and made it softer. He then took his sweater, of which was clean due to his magic, and used it as a blanket to cover her and her bust from any other officers who happened to pass by. He wrote a letter saying, "We did it. The kids are in the other room resting. You fell asleep halfway, so we did the rest ourselves," and went to the bathroom to take a dip in the bathtub with his clothes on, something he got used to after leaving the 2 at the station. He was crying. He failed as the guy said he run through where the thing told him to see his emphasis beaten and sore, sitting on the ground with a lot of dead animal bodies to the side. Aizawa shouted as he ran straight for Technoblades and Dream's side, but got hit by a sword straight to the chest. "What's your name?" Dream asked, his eyes still closed, pointing his sword at Aizawa. "Eraserhead," Aizawa said, standing up. "Why are you here?" Techno said as he gripped his sword tighter. "We were investigating this place, then a big creature came and attacked us. This new junior detective luckily was fast enough and pulled us back and fought the monster for us, but I froze on the spot. If he didn't push us back, we won't be alive. He told me to follow wherever this thing tells me to," Aizawa said. "Do you know what that thing is?" Dream said. "No, I don't," Aizawa answered. "That thing is used to find each and every one of us." "Where did you get that?" "No use. We won't be able to teach you much. If you want, you can join us. We're planning on traveling to different places and train," Techno said, surprising Aizawa. "Wait, aren't you guys powerful enough?" Aizawa asked out loud, which made Dream throw his sword near him, grazing his cheek. "Let's say we were defeated in 2 attacks, us 3. The first attack broke our ribs and bones were broken. The second time we were only able to heal with a strong healer quirk. One of us danced with death, all because we were unprepared," Dream said. "We were exhausted, but we underestimated the enemy and went in anyways with wooden swords in a fight against an enemy who was prepared for a fight to the death in 2 attacks. Pathetic, right? Luckily reinforcement came and saved us," Techno finished. "We're probably gonna be gone for a few weeks or so. Prepare for hell with your so-called hero friends," Dream said before. "Alright, that's enough rest. We're gonna continue. You know what you have to do," Techno said as he went into a mountain and began punched its side. No effect, so he went and punched trees and tied them around his waist and arms to weigh him down. Dream went to the river and began running all around it to gain speed and tried to run on it, but to no avail. He sunk in the water. He got out of the water gasping. He soon got into chopping trees, using his legs to kick it and tie it with a rope and around his legs, and walked nor ally. But at his 50th, he began slowing down. Tommy and Tubbo ran straight into the water to swim along with the dolphins. They needed to be balanced. After all, they began taking each lap adding a kilogram of weights for them. Wilbur was wandering aimlessly, shooting himself out of the ground and go through walls. Azura holed up in her lab making blueprints for gadgets, better ones, more powerful and versatile, giving it resistance to as much things as she can. Stella was learning the spells in the books. Izuku left. 𝐒𝐮𝐴 was sitting in the bathtub thinking about his next move. "It would be great to learn more things, but for now I have to get a civilian character," 𝐒𝐮𝐴 thought as he let his mouth go underwater as well. Just below his nose right outside was Risa, who just woke up. Weren't we investigating at the harbor?" Risa asked herself as she slowly sat up. "How'd we end up back here?" she asked herself, scratching her head. 𝐒𝐮𝐴's sweater," she mumbled before getting red again. Luckily, she was able to calm her nerves and place it down. "Wow, it feels comfy. Am I at somebody's house?" "No, we're still at the station," she said as she looked around. She looked at the bed she was on and saw the letter and read it. "I'm his senpai, yet I fall asleep on him in an investigation." she said to herself as she stood up and went to the bathroom to see 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵's sleeping body in the bathtub. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵's lower half was hidden in the bubbles in the bathtub, but waist up his 8-pack was showing as well as his big muscles, which seems to be even more mesmerizing with the water droplets glistening tracing his body. His fluffy hair that seemed to defy gravity for once followed it shining even more. Risa had the biggest blush on her face and drips of BLD came from her nose. She hurriedly ran outside the bathroom and closed the door behind her. "Oh my gosh, he might catch a cold there," Risa said as she hurried inside, her hands covering her eyes a bit, but 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 was already out of the bath with a towel around his waist. "Like what you saw," 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 said with a laugh while flexing his arms a bit, causing Risa to laugh as well at the corny line. "Hey, were you awake when I went in?" Risa asked. "Not really, I just woke up when the door made a loud bang," 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 answered. "I just knew it was you when you came in again," 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 said laughing. "Anyways, I think I should leave, it's pretty late, or do you still have anything for me to do?" 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 said. No, it's your first day after all," Risa said, waving him off. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 said his goodbye, and when is far enough he took his disguise off and his hair and eye color is back. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of the city, some villains, those who had escaped jail and those who managed to run away. "The SMP, they're gone. I saw it from the letter they gave the detective last night. Looks like somebody managed to inflict major damage to them. Now's our time to strike," said a villain disguised as a police officer. "No, we should collect some more allies and make a bigger army than we have now," another said as thousands of villains talked to each other. Izuku, after leaving the station, went to the Philippines where his grandpa told him his great-great-great-grandpa left his staff in one of the islands in the 100 Islands. "Guess I'll get to looking," Izuku said as he walked in the first island looking at everything. "Techno, are we the bad guys?" Tommy asked Techno as they were setting camp for the night at the edge of Japan. "We're good, but heroes and villains alike sees us as a nuisance for stopping them," Techno answered as he went back to gathering wood for a campfire montage. Month Izuku/𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐵 spent his time going to the 100 Islands in the night and spending the day at the station, spending time with Risa while helping Tsukachi with their investigations. Techno, Tommy, Tubbo and Dream took 4 of the stuff Izuku sent back with their trip in hopes of letting them manifest while they travel the world to meet fighting legends like Manny Pacquiao, Jackie Chan, Jet Li and many others to fight and train with. Wilbur took his own path but also was out traveling the world. Stella took adventures with 𝐴𝐵 to find materials underground in caves with unknown creatures to get stronger and make technology that could protect their friends. Rain took care of their base and trained at the same time with 𝐴𝐵, who was commanding animals to do as he says, and Bad looked after them. Aizawa had to stay behind since he promised he would train Eli Yagi. Izuku had found the staff. At first he found it hard to control since it amplifies his magic at a higher level, so he decided to train it in the night. He also decided to send 𝐴𝐵 a letter on what he was thinking might happen based on his observation using birds. Techno and those he was with managed to wake up George and Sapnap. George had excelled at the bow and had special moves with it, whilst Sapnap gets stronger in battle with each hit and second it takes. They managed to explore half the world, meeting different ninjas who excel in different martial art categories and met and fought different creatures. Wilbur did the same, just he traveled alone. 𝐴𝐵, Rain and Bad decided to open up a cafe just right outside the forest with Bad cooking inside, 𝐴𝐵 managing the counter and drinks, and Rain serving them out, which is popular to women and children since it was sweet, but the women and girls mostly go there to flirt with 𝐴𝐵 and Rain, while the kids liked the sweet chocolate and muffins Bad makes, plus they get to play toys with Rain and II, as they call him. Stella and 𝐴𝐵 happened to wake up 𝐶𝐾𝐵 and Fundy, who were into programming and hacking. 𝐶𝐾𝐵 has the ability to cover himself in a diamond-like material, while Fundy can turn into a human, half fox or full fox. They managed to make the armor resistant to everything their mind could think of, and now they're up to making weapons they think would fit them. 𝐴𝐵 got the message Izuku sent her and made the device easily and shared the codes to others. Izuku has managed to learn everything he can from his book and trained on developing physically. He managed to get Risa and Tsukachi together as well, and he had seen that with them gone the crime rates dropped a lot more. Most cases are just lost kids who happen to just get lost, not kidnapped. Techno, Dream, Tommy and Tubbo has finally explored the world and even run into Wilbur once and is now about to go back home. They also managed to wake up Phil and Ranboo. Phil was great and 𝐴𝐵 at everything he does since his instinct is magnified. It's telling him what's wrong and what's right, sometimes even showing a few seconds into the future. while Ranbu was the one giving them the ability to teleport and can teleport at a much higher rate. Wilbur is now with the rest at home helping with what he can help with. Surprisingly, there was a lot. There were Jack Manifold, H-Bomb, Quackity, Nahachu, Awesome, and Schlatt, who was training at home and helping out at the shops. They opened up a minibar where you can drink and sing at the same time, which was operated by Quackity and Schlatt. Azura and Stella had made different weapons and suits for everyone in their team that had woken up, and even more for those who haven't woken up just yet, and for those who Techno has took with them. Ravage the city and wreak havoc. It's our time to rule, a villain said as they attacked the city with horde of 1,000,000 villains. Hey, what are you doing? Get back here and help. Ingenium shouted at his sidekicks who ran in fear of the horde, but he stayed and fought along with All Might, Endeavor, Eraserhead, and few more heroes in the top 10, and UA teachers came and joined the fight as well. News alert: a horde of villains appeared and attacked the country. A few heroes are out there to fight them, but where are the rest of the heroes who swore to protect? The news reporter said as she showed the horde in her helicopter. 𝐻𝗕, it's time. 𝐻𝗕, it's time, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said as he stood up. Time for what? Risa asked 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, panicking. Tsukachi, don't let anyone out of this station. If you find anybody outside that's a civilian, let them in. I'm just going to do something, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 said as he pulled his tie from his neck. What are you going to do, hey? Tsukachi asked frantically, but he saw a book come and float near 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴 and his hair changing color, but before he turned around he saw him wear a mask, the mask he hated and liked at the same time. I thought I could let myself die and live a peaceful life. I told you once, didn't I? Those who could risk their life no matter the odds just to save someone is enough for me. Where are those heroes who you told me that can and will protect this country? Guess what? They ran, and now I have to show myself once again, Bolt said as he turned around, surprising everyone. Okay, listen up, this country has little to no heroes to help. I'll make sure this place will be unapproachable, and if you ever find someone, bring them here. Am I clear? Bolt said as he jumped outside of the station. Oh, holy gods from above, give this place your divine protection and repel all evil. Barrier and repel, Bolt said as the station appeared to be inside a glass dome. Tsukachi, Risa, thank you, it was fun, but it seems I need to go back. Take this and tell whoever answer it's 𝐀𝐮 SMP and tell them I'm on my way, Bolt said as he jumped to the direction of the forest. Hello, Bolt, you finally called. What do you need? Azura said from the other side. Hello, he told me to tell you it's 𝐀𝐮 SMP and he's on his way, Risa said, and she could hear Azura gasped on the other side and hung up on her. Azura quickly ran to the device and turned it on. It was a beacon that will call every SMP member. Guys, Japan is under attack by a big horde of villains. It's 𝐀𝐮 SMP. Get in here, I'll give you guys all you need, Azura said as their shops closed and everyone is there taking their suits and weapons. Hey, you've got any for us? Azura looked over to see Izuku with Techno and everyone else. Yes, here, take this, we're gonna go into war, Azura said as she shoved the armor into them, which were shining. They suited up and told them what their plan was. Fall back, we're outnumbered to fight this many, Nizu said as he used all the bots he brought with him to fight using AI at the villains and run back with the rest to group up, but got cornered. A loud horn was heard. Arrow rain, George shouted as he shot his arrow in the air, which multiplied into May pieces and rained down on the villains. To think that Japan has only, what, 10, no 20 heroes? I thought you could do without us, Bolt said as he hopped down to fight the villains. Bolt, what would you do? There's millions of us. You might have been a legend back then, now you're probably rusty, a villain said. Who said about fighting alone? Techno said as the rest went into the fight. The heroes were surprised to see the vigilantes revitalize and at how much force they have. However, the villains was surprised to see the vigilante they thought was retired or dead alive, standing and even more powerful than before. Phantom punch, Wilbur said as his fist hit and went through somebody's body, knocking them out cold. Relapse, Sapnap shouted as his punch got strong enough to knock the guy back to 5 others behind him. Concoction, Quackity said before dodging. Quackity has the ability to make potion-like drinks on the go, either good or bad, he decides. Haha, those that get hit becomes confused, Quackity laughed. And now sleep, Eric commanded. Eric has the ability to command those have weak wills, so people who just woke up or dizzy gets affected easier. Take these 2 beaches, Quackity said as he threw more bottles at them. Language anyways, Vex horde, Bad shouted as Vexes appeared and knocked some villains out. Aizawa shouted at Techno and Dream. Oh, Eraser, I didn't think we trained you to be someone who watches while somebody tries to save the day. Watch this, 𝗀𝐻𝐿 said as he swung his sword sideways, slashing the air and pushing it forward, sending those got hit flying away. Not like we're gonna need it anyway. Speed swipe, Dream said as he turned into a blur because of running so fast and hit the enemies before the pain registers. How that didn't do any dash, the villain tried to say, but fell down paralyzed, groaning in pain. With the other who got slashed. Who made those robots anyway? These are robots, Jack said as he controlled the robots they made together, packed with air and pellet guns, pressure strong enough to kill. Ender Blitz, Ranboo said as he started teleporting everywhere, punching the villains who weren't expecting him to appear. Blizzard, Rain said as he slammed his sword onto the ground, making icebergs appear out of the ground. Your favorite singer is here, Tubbo said, and make that double, Tommy added, and be prepared to be blasted away by our song. They both said as they started singing, boosting their friends' abilities. They both jumped into battle and fought in total synchronization. Make way, water ball, Bolt said as the other got out of the way of his attack, and a giant ball of water came shooting out of his palm and blasted thousands of villains away. And now you're wet, chill, Bolt said as those who only got wet of his attack froze. The news reporter caught all that was happening live, showing the citizens that there was no need to worry no more, as the heroes they knew would always come in the end are back. Angel's Fury, Azura said as she dove from the air and pulled herself right at the exact time to dash through villains. Villains tried sneaking behind Bolt, and Aizawa saw this. Bolt, behind you, Aizawa shouted, but he saw that look before under the mask when their lips show a smirk. He knew that very well from every spar and fight they had, even when he tried to catch them. The smirk when they know they've already won, and before anyone could blink, arrows came shooting out of the sky, knocking the villains out. Where did that come from? Nizu said, surprised when they looked at the direction of where the arrows came from. They had to squint. They were shocked to see only one man standing far, far away. The heroes were surprised. No, there were no words that can explain what the heroes were feeling. They knew they were gonna lose, and they had no more hope. Their peers have abandoned them out of fear. The symbol of peace was having a hard time, but all their worry were washed away to see the people they pushed away, hunted, and bad-mouthed come to save them. Even if they were even less than they were, this team was able to inflict real damage, yet they can't see if they are even serious. These guys that seems to be holding back came and saved them. These guys who had no obligation to save them, as opposed to their peers who came running as they saw the horde. These guys are the real heroes. Which is 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫, Stella said as vines came out of the ground and caged the villains who tried using their quirk but to no avail. Techno, throw me, 𝐻𝐿𝐵 shouted. Barista, 𝐻𝐿𝐵 said as Techno threw him. He covered himself in diamonds and knocked them out as if he was a bowling ball. Let's finish this, Bolt said as they started using their special attacks. Air slash, air swipe, bullseye, iceberg, phantom cannon, arrow rush, flash punch, deadly voice, deadly shout, evil potion, self-destruct. As the majestic spirit of water you rise to heaven, the Prince of Thunder Emperor, I ask of you, grant my wish, and lend us your ferocious blessing. Show us your power to diminutive beings, strike you godly gold hammer and show us fear. Flood the whole earth with water, rain washing everything away and exterminate it all. Cumulonimbus. Techno swung his sword in the air twice, cutting an accent, shooting it at the villains, and moved away. Dream took over, throwing to boomerang-shaped knives. Azura shot all the energy her guns had left in one powerful shot. Rain then placed both his hands on the floor and a giant iceberg came out. Wilbur then shot out the ground with his fist balled up and started throwing punches at the villains. George then shot arrows which multiplied more at the back of each arrow. Sapnap then came and used his stored-up strength and punched the air. Tommy and Tubbo used both of their special attack at the same time to boost each other. Quackity then threw his nastiest potion as big as drum container, which causes fever, nausea, food poisoning and blindness. Not enough to kill. Jack Manifold then jumped out of the robot and let it self-destruct. Some villains were smiling as they think the barrage was done, but when they saw the clouds darken and thunder appear they feared their life. Then slim string of lightning came out and shocked them to knock them out as they began spazzing out on the floor. The SMP then stood side by side in a straight line holding their respective weapons and pointed at the camera. We're no heroes yet we're no villain as well. I thought maybe we could have stopped let the heroes take over, but this happened. Your so-called heroes left you and their allies behind, allies who stayed back to fight for you. If you ever want to know who we and want to catch us are, I challenge all hero schools here to find someone worthy. Someone who would stand in front of any danger just to protect and train them well. Till then, if you ever need any help, don't hesitate to call us, since we're back, baby, stronger than ever, and we'll be there to save you, Izuku said as the whole SMP used their own techniques to get back to their base. So it wasn't a dream, Risa said. What was? Tsukachi asked Risa. When he first arrived at that harbor, something attacked us. He must have made us sleep, but I saw it. He shot a giant boulder at that monster, Risa said, smiling. What are we gonna do now, sir? Vlad King asked Nizu. I don't know, the country is in shambles, and we pretty much, and as they said, we pretty much have no heroes than us here, Nizu said, looking at the heroes who fought with them all. What are you talking about? Aizawa said as they all looked at him. I know all their techniques and teachings before they disappeared. I'll find someone worthy in my time teaching at you. I'll make sure to get Japan trustworthy, strong heroes once again, not just any hero like the ones who ran away. We'll need to help fix up the country up first, Nizu said, looking up. You saw firsthand what they can do. They're not someone you would just see on the street. They learned not to avoid death but dance with it. Those skills are not something that gets by easily. We know what we have to do now. Move out, Nizu said as they walked back with Yue to take a rest. It's been a while since I saw you guys. How have you been? Izuku said as he took off his suit. Me and Techno traveled around the world with Tubbo and Tommy, and the rest manifested while we're traveling, Dream said. I also traveled, but I went a different way from them, Wilbur added. How about you, Azura? Stella, what have you been doing? Izuku asked. Oh, we've been exploring the caves. That's also where I found most of the materials for the suits. I never thought you would be mage though, Azura said. That day they all slept as one big family. Look at them jumping, flying, running around, saving people, hiding in the shadows. Vigilantes. He appeared out of nowhere. Then he appeared once again out of nowhere with friends. He disappears to who knows where, then he comes back stronger, more powerful, with lots of friends, all with different power and techniques, each enough to level countries. A man in a black suit said, sitting in a chair. For years I have collected quirks to make me immortal and all-powerful. I want their quirks. With their quirks I can own the worlds and nobody can stop me. Someone with the power to control elements, someone with the speed to travel to the moon and back in minutes, and some who can punch the ground and cause earthquakes. I want it. Tamura, you have the plans to attack you, right? Bring 2 Nomus with you, kill the kids and All Might and the vigilante that comes to help. Tamura nodded as he smiled. His M-star and mentor gave him the go-ahead in his plan. He looked at the villains he collected. He smiled at them. At UA ++++. You must be really lucky, Eli. He gave you that bracelet. I'm really jealous, Mina said as she looked at her hand. Yeah, I wonder if I'll be able to see him again, Eli said as she looked at her bracelet, smiling. That's nearly impossible. Have you seen the news? They solve half of the crimes in Japan and there's like 30 of them and hundreds of heroes. The real question is, where do they leave? Ochako said. They leave in the heart of a forest far, far away, in a small cottage somewhere. No one has been before but them. A forest covered in danger, but at the heart of it is really nice. It's hidden by an illusion to keep anybody from seeing, Momo said. How do you know that? Kyoka asked. Because when there were only 6 of them, I met them when I was being mugged and he saved me. They were all nice, although I was only there once, Momo told her friends. As some of them, but you know, we're all really lucky, Momo suddenly stated. Why is that? Denki asked her as the others also contemplated. Momo took out her phone and went for the album she had specifically for that day and zoomed in on one of the framed photos showing Aizawa and Techno sitting on a bench in the place they trained, and they all go wide-eyed at this and looked at their teacher who's standing by the pole, his hair well kept as always, looking through his phone. Finally someone couldn't take it anymore and asked their teacher, Sir, is it true you know them? Tsu asked their teacher. Aizawa nodded his head, humming as the students' eyes lit up except for some, namely Shoto, Katsuki, and Ida. What, how do you know them? Eli asked. I don't really know or get what happened much, but this is how, Aizawa said as the kids came closer. Once upon a time there was a boy with the quirk to erase others' quirks by looking at them. He wanted to be a hero but nobody believed in him. They said his quirk was useless and didn't allow him to. He cried, but then one day a man came up to him dressed in a red cloak. In his head was a pig's head covering his eyes and nose. The only thing you can see from him is his smile. He believed in the boy, taught him various things and gave him powerful gear. He took the boy with him to meet the sorceress, the scholar, the musicians, and the dream. They watched the boy grow until he became a hero. When they left him, Aizawa told them, if there was one thing I regret, it was to never meet the vigilante in person. Aizawa said. The vigilante? Asked Denki Bolt. He was the vigilante Momo and 𝐿𝐼 said at the same time. He always makes sure the ones he saved are safe and have no mental trauma, Momo said. He goes as far as to bring them to the station himself, 𝐿𝐼 added. Isn't he like scared he'd get caught? Denki asked. He is scared, but for him making sure that everyone is safe he would do that, Momo said. Oh, if he's so powerful, why can't he be a hero instead? Being a vigilant is illegal, Ida asked. He said that the reason he can't be a hero is because the world of heroes is complicated and most heroes are fake to him, Aizawa answered. What? No, they're not, Ida tried to counter, but that's why they became active again. He thought with me I'd be able to make more heroes, but that day when a horde of villains came, heroes, thousands of them flew overseas and ran away, leaving the citizens alone. That I almost died. All Might almost died. If the SMP didn't show up, we wouldn't have stood a chance. Their power and teamwork is unbeatable. The sniper didn't even have a gun, he had a bow and no one could see him in the battlefield. Their sniper took care of the villains that tried to hit from behind and nobody looked behind them. They had trust and loyalty to each other. They were having fun. It doesn't matter what people think of them, as long as they can help they will, even if it means going to hell, Aizawa answered. I'll stay a hero and a teacher until I can give them what they want, and I got lucky, Aizawa smiled. Why? The students asked all together. Because Momo and 𝐿𝐼 is here. When they were saved he saw potential in them to be a hero. I got lucky. Both of you are in my class. Aizawa held their hands as the two girls blushed, but one of the silent ones got angry. Ooh. With their quirks I'm stronger than them, Katsuki shouted as sparks came out of his palms. That didn't matter to them. 𝐿𝐼 was prepared to take the shot for her mother. Saw kindness in her, true kindness, and they help cultivate them. I talked to them, he said these very words. When everything goes dark I found children braver than most. Find them and cultivate them, let them grow, don't groom them, just give them the room to grow. And that I will, he also said this. I will not die or be caught, I just disappear like I once did, but now I see this country doesn't have enough heroes to protect it, and when it does you will see who I am truly, not who Bolt is, not who Dream is, but who we are. I told you the stories until there are heroes. I will not die nor disappear, but when the time comes meet me. He said that, and I'll expel anyone if it means I can speed up the process. They don't want powerful, they want kindness and bravery, Aizawa said as he looked at his hands, and everyone shut up. We're here, get off the bus, Aizawa said sternly as the students got off the bus and lined up to meet 13, who showed them the way inside after a bit of a talk. In here you'll be able to train for rescue missions. The lights flickered and a black mist appeared. Students, we came here to kill All Might. Where is he? Has there been a change of plans? A man with blue hair covered in hands stated. If we kill one of his students that would hurt his pride. The same man stated as the mist grew and out came hundreds upon hundreds of villains. The students shivered at what the man said. Stay here 13, protect the students, Aizawa said as he held his scarf. Aizawa-sensei, you're not gonna win against them, there's too much, Ochako said. A hero needs a trick, but to be a pro he would need lots. Don't worry about me, Eraserhead said as he smiled and jumped down to the fray. Contact the school, tell them to send heroes, 13 said as Denki tried to. They're jamming the signal. Denki cried out. 13 looked at the students searching for a way. Ida, run to the school, ask them for help. 13 shouted at him. No, I can't, I won't leave you guys here, Ida said as the mist appeared. I am here to do my job, separate you. The mist said, stay back, 13 said as she opened one of her finger holes to suck the mist in. 13 was able to hold back the mist. I'll blow your butt into bits, Bakugo said as he jumped in front the hero straight into the mist. 13 was forced to close the hole to prevent Bakugo from getting sucked in. The mist took this as an opportunity, spread the students across the USJ. No, where are the others? Uraraka asked as she opened her eyes to see most of their classmates missing. 𝐿𝐼 shouted as she saw herself falling into the water filled with villains, which got louder as she felt something wrap around her waist but sighed in relief as she saw who it was. Thanks to 𝐿𝐼 smiled. How can you smile like that? We're about to die. A voice cried behind Tsuyu. Why do you think we're gonna die if we haven't tried anything yet? 𝐿𝐼 asked. I wish I at least touched Yairosa's melons, Mineta cried as 𝐿𝐼's bracelet grew alive and tied itself around Mineta and hang him over the villains. Okay, easy guys, don't kill my classmate. Also Mineta, try to keep your thoughts to yourself, 𝐿𝐼 said as the bracelet pulled Mineta back on the boat. We need a plan, 𝐿𝐼 said as the three discussed. Okay, are you guys ready? 𝐿𝐼 asked the two as she prepared to jump. Remember the plan? I jump and use my super strength to create a small whirlpool to catch them, then 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐬 would pull me away and we bail, okay? Eli said as 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 nodded and grabbed the small kid. Nothing like the present, Eli thought to herself as she jumped. Eli shouted, trying to be as scary as possible as she punched the air directly over water, causing the water to move apart and go back slowly. She felt 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 pull her away as she watched the villains get 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 in the middle. She heard 𝐼𝐼𝐻𝐻 yell and throw some ball as well. 𝐼𝐼𝐻𝐻, Eli, you guys are so cool, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 said. We should see how 𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 is doing, Eli told the two. Do you want to die? There's like so many villains there, 𝐼𝐻𝐻 shouted at her. We would only look at the corner and we can run away if we're in danger, Eli said. Okay then, 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 said as they walked in shallow water along the bank watching the fight. What they saw though would haunt them forever. Their teacher was under a black monster standing on him, holding their teacher's bent hands. I don't think All Might's gonna come, let's just go, the man covered in hands said as they lit up. Not before killing some of his students, the man said as black mist appeared in front of them, a hand coming out of it. 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬, Eli shouted as she placed an arm between her and the hands getting touched instead. She shouted as her hand started to decay, but it stopped. She looked at her arm to see the top layer of skin crumbling a bit. The bracelet protected her. She charged her other arm, the one she broke, as she punched the air earlier, as the bracelet held 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐬 and 𝐼𝐻𝐻 tightly and took them far away. She dropped the two besides Momo, Jiraiya, and Kaminari, who were walking to the others. Take them, I'm gonna go back for 𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, she said as she looked before running as fast as she can back before anyone could protest. I'll follow after her. Help Jir bring Kaminari up there, stay safe, Momo said as Jiraiya nodded, running after her classmate. Momo prepared a bow staff. The bracelet made by Bolt himself, something powerful. Give it to me and I'll make your death quick, the man said as he tried to grab Eli, who was using her bracelet to counter the other end, holding 𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 up safely. I've had enough of this, Momo, finish them, the man said as the monster with a beak appeared in front of them and punched them. Luckily the bracelet blocked it, but it wasn't enough to stop them from launching backwards. Momo and Eli looked up to see it walking to them. Their class watched as the monster walked to their classmates and teacher. All of them were frozen, too scared to move. They watched as the bracelet tried to stop it. It was hopeless. What's that sound? A villain asked as he looked around, causing Shigaraki to look around as well. It was the sound of bells growing louder and louder. As the sound of bell grew louder, the sky darkened and fog appeared, and in the blink of an eye half the villains were gone. What did you do? 3 voices were heard at the same time, and in the blink of an eye a handful of villains were down. Who did this? 3 figures appeared. It was hard to recognize. The only thing visible were their eyes and shadow, but it was clear: a pig head, a smiley face, a black suit. 𝐾𝐮𝐿, bring out the other Nomu, they're here, Shigaraki ordered, scared as another Nomu appeared. He expected them to be scared, but instead they laughed, and in one move the Nomus heads were gone as well as the rest of their body scattered across the floor. Found you, the 3 said as the 3 pairs of glowing eyes seemingly aimed at them. Small pieces of rocks shot through the air, piercing Shigaraki's arms and legs. Unfortunately, 𝐾𝐮𝐿 managed to escape with him. Did you see that? Uraraka asked as they looked at the scattered body of the Nomus. They fought. No, it wasn't even a fight, Shoji said. They're monsters, 𝐼𝐻𝐻 shouted. They saw the 3 carry the 3 wounded heroes. Hey, where are you taking them? Uraraka shouted. The 3 stopped. None of your business, Bolt answered. We are here, a booming voice said as the teachers of UA lined up at the entrance with Ida. You're late, the 3 of them are already wounded. I told you before, I'll tell you once again. Make heroes, not people who stand in fear as they watch their comrades fall, Bolt said sternly. My daughter, All Might thought, I like you guys, you stayed your true heroes, but when you're gone, who's next? If the next generation is like this, you'll doom Japan, Bolt said. Nemuri, I'm glad to see you doing well. You too, Hisashi, why don't you come with me? Your equipment seems old, let me fix it. I also need to talk with you, Bolt said as the 2 came over. Hey, where are you gonna take them? Snipe asked as he walked near as an arrow shot past him. Said next time he isn't gonna miss, Snipe, Bolt warned. Hey, All Might shouted as he jumped to him, but he got punched back. He spit BLD. I said, Bolt said again. Stop, let them go, we wouldn't want them as enemies. Nizu said as Bolt nodded and disappeared along with the others. Another arrow shot in front of them with a letter in the side. Nizu picked it up. It read, Don't worry, they're safe. I'm Just said your students watched as the two came back for Aizawa. See, I was right, these two are true heroes in the making. I'm just gonna give them pointers and heal them as well. I can see their teacher, namely All Might, doesn't teach very well. Sorry if I'm very secretive, but these guys prove themselves worthy of my help and time as an individual. Bolt. Nizu groaned at this and showed the letter to the other heroes. Then another arrow landed in front of them. You can ask Tsuka-san why I want them. Also say hello to Risa-chan for me. Who's Tsuka? Nizu asked the teachers. Then the police and ambulances arrived. Hey Nizu, can I interview you guys? Tsukachi said. Then suddenly a barrage of arrows hit him. Oh, he came by. Tsukachi groaned as he searched the soft-headed arrows. There it is, Tsukachi said. Tsukachi, what is it? Nizu asked. Oh, you know that dirty little crime boy Bolt, that stupid vigilante, Tsukachi said as watch. Tsukachi said as he clicked the disc stuck to the arrow. Hello Tsuka, I'm really sad right now. But from what I know, the leader in this thing is the boy with hands all over his body and the man made out of mist. I killed two of the villains, by the way, don't worry, they were puppets, biologically modified. I would like to investigate right now, but I'm really sad, so you're on your own. Also tell Risa I miss her. Bye. A hologram of Bolt said. What set him off? Sheesh, at least don't take it out on me. Tsukachi said angrily, and the students, well, some pointed at All Might, and the detective clicked his tongue. Well, I'll just be getting your testimonies now, Tsukachi said as he looked at the students. Oh, that's why he said, Tsukachi said as he rubbed the back of his head. Bolt, Techno and Dream appeared carrying Aizawa, Eli, and Momo in their arms. Injured beside them is Namuri and Hisashi. Just sit on the couch for a while. Oh, feel free to eat, just ask anyone the way to the mess hall. Bolt instructed the two, who sat down and left. Hisashi looked around the place. It's kinda got a homey feeling, don't you think? Hisashi asked. Yeah, it feels kind of nice here, Namuri answered. Stupid thief, how stupid is he to believe that I'm scared of women? If I'm gonna scared of anything at all, I'm gonna be scared of women who cooks like Ian insists to. Wilbur muttered to himself. Wilbur, are you there? Bolt's voice can be heard shouting. Yes, what do you want? Wilbur shouted back. Can you tell Alexis to F off and get out of the infirmary? I swear if he strips down again I'm gonna bury him alive. Also call Azura for me so she can make the upgrades. Tell her to meet me in the laboratory. Bolt shouted again. Can we come with you to the laboratory? Namuri asked. Yeah, fine, follow me, Wilbur said as he took the elevator. They stood in a kind of containment chamber. Please wear the lab gowns, gloves, and goggles. I don't want any of you dying here, Wilbur said. How about you? Hisashi asked. Everything passes through me, Wilbur smiled. Oh good, I was about to pick you guys up, Bolt said. So what am I supposed to upgrade for them? Azura asked. You see, to contain her quirk she's using this thin suit that she would need to rip to her suit, and it has no direction, Bolt explained. So basically something to help put a direction to it, Azura answered. Oh, I have a suggestion as well. We can give her like those grenades, but let's disguise it like some everyday stuff, Bolt explained. Wait, what grenades? No, Namuri said clearly. Against the use of grenades. Yeah, grenades, you put the air you excrete there. It's like sleeping gas, right? If you store it for later, it's a grenade, like a water balloon, Azura explains. What do you want to disguise it as? It can be disguised as anything really, Bolt asks her. I'll leave you to it, Bolt told her as Wilbur showed her some designs that would fit her costume and everyday life. Hisashi's quirk is really cool and powerful, however his being held back by the speaker he's wearing. I want to make something that could help him control where it goes as well as how strong he needs it to be, Izuku explained. It might be good if he can change the frequency as well. I'll get to work as well with the others you told me, Azura said as she went to the place where the materials is kept. I'll leave you to it, Bolt said as he left Namuri and Hisashi following behind. Ugh, I'm hungry. You guys wanna eat? I won't let you go until maybe tomorrow night, Bolt stated. Wait, what? Why? Hisashi asked. I'm having you wait for the three to heal. In the meantime, let's eat. I had to run from here, Bolt told them. That tells me though what took you so long. The options they had were the electric dude and the one with engine legs. Nah, I won't think much about it, Bolt said. Welcome to the mess hall. You can eat whatever you want, just ask Nikki, she's nice, don't worry, Bolt said as he left. 2. Look at this place, it's big, Namuri said as she looked at the vigilantes talking to each other. Some eating. Yeah, it's kind of intimidating being here, Hisashi said. They saw a girl give a meal to Wilbur, who was sitting beside the others laughing as he told a story. Hey, what do you want, you little 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐿? Tommy sneered at them. Tommy, that's not how you treat guests. Sorry about that, you guys. Tubbo apologized for his friend. I'll look at him, all grown up, Tommy teased. Oh yeah, remember when they were like this small? 𝗬𝗪 added, placing his palm at his chest, laughing as 𝐻𝐼𝐴 pouted. Let them go, you guys, not like 𝐻𝐼𝐴 grew at all. The only thing that grew in him is his hair. Look at him, he looks like a freaking cockatoo. Technoblade laughed as Tommy and 𝗬𝗪 rolled on the floor laughing loudly. Guys, come on, don't bully them. If they cry, I'm not the one comforting them, remember that, Phil said, drinking his coffee. Good news, the kids are fine. Alexis managed to create a potion to stop their skin from getting scars, and Bolt closed their wounds. A long rest is probably all they need now, Techno said, walking over to the table. The two lit up at this. Hey, what's your na dash? Hisashi tried to ask Ranbu's name. Don't look into his eyes, Wilbur said, covering his eyes. What happens if I did? Nemuri asked as the rest looked at her scared. Did you? Nikki looked at her eyes. I may have, Nemuri answered. Run to the pool, he hates the water. Go, Schlatt said as he started to run as well as the rest of the SMP. Why are we running? Nemuri asked. Ranbu has some anxiety from 𝐼2. But now instead of him being shy, he goes feral. He hates water so much it's the only way to stay safe, Wilbur answered. Why are you running? You can't get hit, right? Hisashi asked. Oh, the thing is the feral mode of him can hit anything, even me, Wilbur said as he ran laughing. Why are you laughing? Hisashi asked. Well, we're talking as if we're gonna die, but it's really just a punch, Wilbur said. I tripped, 𝗬𝗑𝐿 said as he got punched through walls. Luckily, he turned himself into a diamond before getting punched. I rather not get punched, Nemuri shouted. Then water filled the room for a few seconds, then the water disappeared. Who the F? Looked into his eyes. 𝗬𝗑𝐿 flew right into the room beside the infirmary. Dream said, standing beside Bolt, who had his staff in his hand. It's almost high time for crimes to happen. Get ready and spread out, scout for crimes and suspicious activities, Dream said sternly. If you're injured, which is unlikely, stay in the infirmary or in your rooms. The two of should really eat now. It's past lunch already. After that you can do whatever you want. Just get anyone to accompany you, Dream said sternly. If you want to stay and play, please play nicely. Remember, we have some injured people here, so no roughhousing, Bolt said. I'll go back in monitoring them, Bolt said, leaving the others alone. Most of the SMP left to save people while the rest played and talked to their visitors, the others just doing what they normally do at their house, playing, recording, chores, etc. You guys haven't eaten yet, right? Because of running and all that stuff. Here, I baked some strawberry sponge cakes earlier. It just finished, Nikki told them. Yes, please, Nemuri said as she took a seat in one of the tables with Hisashi. Here it is, Nikki said as she placed the sponge cakes in front of the two. Nemuri took a bite first and literally squirmed at the sheer deliciousness. This is really delicious. I think I'll get fat living here, Nemuri ummed out happily. Yeah, it is delicious, Hisashi said. Hey, if you're gonna rank them, which of them is the strongest out of the boys? Nemuri asked. Bolt is the strongest out of all of them, Nikki answered. Wow, that's a fast answer. You must be really confident then, Hisashi said. If Bolt wanted to, he can catch us in an instant and keep us locked up forever. Nikki smiled. The next day, Momo stirred in her sleep. She heard people talking. She opened her eyes slowly to see Aizawa and Bolt talking to each other. Didn't know anything would happen, Aizawa. I see you didn't get the goggles I wanted you to get. It's probably hard for you. It's stopping your full potential. Bolt clicked his tongue. Not everyone can make the stuff, Azura. Can you know not everyone has the stuff you have, Aizawa said. Azura makes the stuff with her own hands, you know, with the simple tools, Bolt. Bit back. Azura and the others are the best in their own profession, but I at least thought someone could make it for you, Bolt said. Oh, you're awake. How are you feeling, Momo? Bolt asked, worried. It surprisingly doesn't hurt, Momo answered. Good, or else I'll bury Alexis into the ground. That 𝗂𝐻𝐵's, Bolt said, grumpy. Hey, how are they doing? A head peeked out of the door. They're doing good, Alexis. Thank you for the help, Bolt said. Alexis shouted as he raised his hands, then his sweatshirt and breathes were in the air. Momo shouted. Alexis, you 𝗂𝐻𝐵's, get out, Bolt said as he kicked Alexis out of the door. I think you might need a little help with your gear. It's a bit open, isn't it, and lacks protection, Bolt asked. It is, but to use my quirk I need to have some open skin, Momo answered as Bolt hummed. How about the book? Isn't it kind of heavy? Bolt added. To make stuff I need to know how they are made and materials they were made from, Momo answered. So nanites might help for the suit, Bolt whispered to himself. Good morning, Eli said as she woke up. Where am I? She asked herself as she rubbed her eyes looking at the ceiling. I've been kidnapped, she said to herself, sleep still in her mind. I've been kidnapped, she shouted. Hey guys, Nikki said, breakfast is 𝗧𝗓. Alexis showed up at the door again wearing breathes, his sweatshirt hanging in his shoulder. Eli quickly appeared in front of him ready to punch his face. Stop it, I can't make enough to heal you every day, you know well I can but I won't, 𝐬𝐿 said as he caught the punch with his hand, which surprised 𝐬𝐿, Momo and Eli. By the way, Nikki said food is ready, it's Italian apple risotto, we should hurry up, 𝐬𝐿 said. The three followed Bolt and 𝐬𝐿 to the cafeteria. 𝐬𝐿, can you make it bubblegum so I can take the mask off? Bolt asked. Here, 𝐬𝐿 said as Bolt took the mask off, showing light blue hair with pink streaks, his eyes were light blue and pink. 𝐬𝐿, 𝐬𝐿 said. Nice to meet you again, 𝐬𝐿-kun, 𝐬𝐿 said. Nice to meet you both, it is me but different colored hair just so you know, Bolt explained. Oh, you guys are awake, 𝐬𝐿 shouted at the three from a table. Sit with us, Nomiuri said as the three sat beside them. 𝐬𝐿, do you know what's about to happen? 𝐬𝐿 asked. They look like they're going to kill, 𝐬𝐿 added as they see the SMP seating in their seat, hair covering their eyes, smiling like fools. Guys, food is ready, Nikki shouted, and as fast as lighting all of the SMP was in front of the island counter taking bowls. Here you won't be able to compete for food against monsters, 𝗏𝐻 said as he placed 5 bowls of the risotto in their table. Eat up, Nikki's a good cook, 𝗏𝐻 said as he sat in another table eating bowl after bowl of the risotto, running back every time. Look at how much they eat, how can they not get fat? Nomiuri asked. What's more surprising is how Nikki can keep up with over 2 dozens of men running around getting the food, 𝐬𝐿 said as he took a spoonful. A lot of thank you and compliments were in the air for Nikki. Last 3 bowls left, first come first served, Nikki shouted, and all the SMP took a run for a bowl. The first ones to arrive were 𝗧𝗏𝗏, Tubbo and Tommy, who was the nearest, but their bowls were taken by Fundy, Jack Manifold, and 𝗬𝐿, who used little robots to take it, and then it was too hard to see. It was a storm of bodies taking the bowl. Then suddenly the bowls floated and went into Bolt's hands. Ah, child's play, he said before getting literally buried into the ground by Dream and 𝗏𝐻's fists combined, who took the bowls from his hands and ate it instantly, 𝗏𝐻 getting 2 of the bowls. They're monsters, 𝐬𝐿 said, shivering at the strength of the people in front of them. Hey, would you girls like to take a bath? 𝗏𝐻 appeared in front of them without a scratch. The 5 decided not to question it. Yes, please, the 2 girls answered. 𝗂𝐻𝐿 will show you where to take a bath, 𝗏𝐻 said as 𝗂𝐻𝐿 landed beside them. Oh, Eli, come with me, 𝗏𝐻 said as she touched her shoulder, and they teleported to his room. All Might's quirk and nice added to your quirk electric armor, you must be pretty strong, 𝗏𝐻 said as he sat. How did you know? Eli asked, scared. Eli, I'm not a saint, I'm a vigilante, I defy the law, I can know everything I want in seconds, 𝗏𝐻 said. You're a wonderful lady, Eli, and a born hero. You and Momo are worth my time like 𝐬𝐿, you can tell me anything, you can ask for anything, I'm on your side. I'm not a saint but I want to be your friend and equal, so why are you scared? Am I the villain in this story? 𝗏𝐻 said with his hand covering the half of his face with the pink glowing eye. Then tell me, why is this place hidden? When we meet each other you're always in a mask or disguise. Why can't you tell me? Eli cried. Why would you suddenly disappear then when you came back? Why didn't you meet me? Eli added. Eli, look at me, because I went away because I was weak, my team almost died and I don't want that to happen again, so what I went away and trained. I knew that they did as well. I don't want you to die, I don't want Momo to die, I didn't want 𝐬𝐿 to die. I'm not a saint, I would kill if it means protecting those who I care for, 𝗏𝐻 said. If it makes you feel better, here a compass that would always track me, share it with Momo. Eli looked at it and at 𝗏𝐻 right as he snapped his fingers, and she was at the bathroom. What happened? Momo said as Eli arrived. He gave this to me, he said we should share, Eli said as she gave Momo the compass. A broken compass, Momo said as she compared the north to the south in the compass. No, it's not just broken, it's pointing somewhere, Momo added. It's a compass that points to Bolt.